Welcome back to the channel. This is Trendy Storm and you are watching What If Fem-Naruto was daughter of Wonder Woman. If you enjoy this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
The mission was supposed to be simple. Get in, see what Cadmus was up to, and then exit. Getting caught was not the plan. That was the plan. Robin assured his two companions, "I've jammed the door, we're safe." According to Aqualad, we're trapped. They heard their friend Kid Flash say, guys, you might want to check this out." Their friend was staring at a tube when the other two sidekicks arrived. A young girl, who appeared to be around 15 or 16, was inside. Not to put any notice on her chest or anything, but does that symbol on her chest remind you of anyone? KF responded. Smooth kid. But yeah, it looks like Wonder Woman's symbol, Robin replied. He heard Aqualad say, Robin, hack. Right. That's what Robin did best. Project WB, a clone of Wonder Woman, acquired from Wonder Woman. Aqualad clarified, stolen from Wonder Woman. Force grown in 16 weeks. KF questioned, WB? Warner Brothers? Robin corrected Kid Flash, saying, no, the Wonder Babe. They made a clone of Wonder Woman. Aqualad inquired, what are those things above her? Robin informed him, gee, gnomes. Force feeding her an education. We have to do something. They're making a slave out of, well, Wonder Woman's daughter, said Kid Flash. Besides, we can't leave such a pretty girl all the way down here in this dark and dainty place. Both Aqualad and Robin nodded. We contact the League now. No way the Justice League knows about this, Aqualad replied. Robin tried calling Batman, but he said, no signal, we're in too deep. As KF put it, no kidding. Robin, release, Wonder Babe. We must free her from Cadmus. Aqualad responded. She made the grave error of turning and attacking them ruthlessly after releasing Wonder Babe. Cadmus was able to capture them after she easily defeated the three of them and knocked them out. She was currently observing them while they were strapped down in a tube that resembled her own. To get the Wonder Babe's attention, KF said, hey babe. How's it going? Once more, she merely glanced at KF and asked, not much of a talker are you? It would be appropriate to mention that Wonder Babe's outfit is an exact replica of Wonder Woman's, her mother's. Not with the tiara, though. She also carried a mechanical whip, a regular sword, and an iron shield. It's nice to know that such a cutie like you likes to look at me. Kid, I think it's best to not piss off any more than she already is, Robin replied. Wonder Babe remarked, you're not much to look at. KF exclaimed, whoa, she can speak? WB glared at KF and said, yes she can. Aqualad questioned, why did you attack us? We were attempting to assist you. She faced him. When I awoke I was told that you three were to be taken down to prove to my mother that I'm not worthless, she informed them. Wait, you mother? Who's your mother? KF responded. My mother is Wonder Woman, also known as Diana Prince. She is my mother and once Cadmus tells her that I captured you, she will love me, she informed them. The Aqua Boy asked her, what do you mean, she will love you? Cadmus told me that my mother ordered my creation in case she ever fell in battle. I was created for the purpose replacing her should she die honorably in battle. However, I was not up to her standards, she told Cadmus, who told me that she will love me if I prove myself. She went on to explain. I hate to break it to ya, but I doubt that Wonder Woman even knows you're alive, Robin replied, while picking his lock covertly. Then WB became antagonistic. She demanded, how do you know that? In response, Aqualad asked, how do you? I know a lot of things thanks to Cadmus. I know how to read, to write. I know the names of places, capital cities and events in history. I also wish to be like my mother Wonder Woman, she stated. Aqualad attempted to pique her curiosity by asking, to be like Wonder Woman is an admirable goal, but have you actually seen them? Not as an image, but physically there? She informed them, I have never seen them, but I know what they are. We could show you these places, the sun even, KF responded. Robin fervently hoped that, stating, actually I think it's after midnight so we could show you the moon. Oh, we could even introduce you to Wonder Woman, your mother. Would secure her assistance. Dr. Desmond told her, no, they can't. They will be otherwise preoccupied. The three sidekicks were violently shocked when he pressed a button. Begin the cloning processes, and as for you, get back in your cage, he said. In pain from the shock, Aqualad made another attempt to win Wonder Babe over to their cause. It is your life to choose. You can choose to be what you want. To be a weapon like Cadmus wants you to be. Or like a heroine you should be. But think of this Wonder Babe. What would Wonder Woman do? Your mother. How would she respond? She pondered. I said get back in your cage, he commanded, issuing the command to his genome. It was the genome. Avoid doing this right now. You are a living weapon, a product. Desmond was afraid of willpower, so he didn't like it when it woke up inside of him. Wonder Babe gave him a look. She backhanded Desmond, probably breaking a few bones, and smashed his assistant's head into the keyboard, knocking her unconscious. Don't tell me what to do. No one tells me what to do anymore, she said. She looked at KF and the others after that. KF decided it would be wise to try flirting once more. So beautiful, are you going to melt us with your glare or free us? He inquired. For a moment, nothing happened. I am unable to melt you with my glare, so freeing you is my only other option, she replied. At that moment, Robin was released from his restraints. Finally, Batman would have my head if he knew I took this long. KF said, dude, seriously? Robin said to WB, help Aqualad, I'll get Kid Flash. Although she cautioned, don't tell me what to do either, she managed to free Aqualad. He told her, thank you. He nodded when she said, bring me to my mother, and we'll call it even. The outing was exciting. Wonder Babe is destroying everything that stands between her, her new friends, and her independence. She had an innate ability to fly and fight. She made good use of her weapons, but they were able to withstand the strain of her blows and broke and shattered, making them useless. Her strength and skill astounded the three sidekicks. She had only been out of the test tube for an hour or two, and she was fighting as if she had been trained for years by Wonder Woman or Batman. Things became more interesting when the group arrived at the main lobby. Stop, said Dr. Desmond. I will return you to your cage, and this will enable me to restore order to Cadmus, he said, taking a swig of a pale blue liquid. A few strains of his skin hung off his new blue body after he grunted, and his muscles grew too large for his skin, causing it to be stretched and torn off. Row r r r r r r r r r r r. KF remarked, you don't see that every day. Any ideas? Robin asked. I wonder if Babe had one. She unleashed her strength and rage on Blockbuster. Blockbuster was knocked off his blue ass, launching one blow after another at the former physician. They were all equally powerful and landed with the same ferocity as the first. KF put on his goggles and began running quickly to surprise Blockbuster, saying, didn't see that coming. Additionally, Aqualad used his abilities and strength to directly assist Wonder Babe, while Robin used his discs to provide range support. Robin's attempts to damage it were dismissed by Blockbuster, but Wonder Babe and Aqualad were more successful. Blockbuster stumbled over his body as Kid Flash moved behind him after both of them delivered a team punch to his face. KF grinned and said, I learned that in kindergarten. Wonder Babe's 2 feet landed on his face as Blockbuster stood up. She stomped on its face until she was happy with her work, then said, made that one up. He was stomped on once more. That's for calling me it, she said. That's for calling me a weapon, flipped over and fell back on his face. And that was for giving me this ridiculous name, the Wonder Babe. She stomped away from it with one final stomp. While whispering to Robin, Kid Flash said, dude, remind me never to piss her off. Robin answered, likewise. Aqualad told them, agreed. Wonder Babe approached them. That felt good. You have no idea how long I've wanted to do that, she stated to them. Blockbuster caught the 3 boys' attention like a beacon. Aqualad told her, I think we have a clue. According to Kid Flash, so, now what? Rare. Robin complained. Oh come on, he remarked, I'm so, not whelmed right now. Kid Flash asked, what now? As Wonder Babe looked around, she saw that some support beams had been destroyed in their fight. Robin, if we take out those last 3 support beams this place will come down right. Robin begged, yeah but that would bring, wait, but her request was ignored. Wonder Babe used her strength to smash one of the support beams. Don't just stand there looking dumb. Help me. KF ran quickly and struck Blockbuster in the face, saying, on it. He took something, but there was no damage. He examined the piece of stale skin. His taunt was, got your nose. Blockbuster became enraged and charged Kid Flash, but it missed and severely damaged another support beam. Then, with their fists, Wonder Babe and Aqualad both smashed Blockbuster's face in. When Robin gave the all clear, everyone gathered in one place. As he pushed the detonator's button, Robin said, good night, Tinker Bell, on the final support beam with the bombs. Outside, a handful of Leaguers were being assembled at the same time as the battle was taking place. The first was a famous hunter. The huntress said, where is everyone? I know I'm on time, so where the hell is everyone? Through the darkness came another female voice, saying, oh, calm down, they'll be here. The huntress remarked, Black Canary, good to see you and your boy toy. The boy toy, also known as Green Arrow, walked into the light and said, hey, no need for name calling. By the way, where is he? Huntress remarked, how should I know, I'm not his mother. As Green Arrow put it, although you act like it. Green Arrow was irritated and said, where is he anyway? He's late. Batman emerged from the shadows and declared, I'm never late. Green Arrow cited the Lord of the Rings when he said, of course you're never late. The Batman is never late nor is he early. Batman merely scowled. The Batman informed them that, we're waiting on 4 more to arrive at least before we get started. The 4 arrived shortly after, along with a few other League members. Superman, Wonder Woman, Red Tornado, and the Maritime Man, Hunter appeared. Red Tornado said, are we late, Batman? The Cadmus building collapsed as he was saying, no, right on time. Now then, let's begin. We're here to investigate Cadmus. The Cadmus most know is just a mask and we are here to find out what that mask is hiding. To locate and assist any survivors, the entire JLA hurried in. The young heroes survived inside the debris. Some of the debris was pushed away from Wonder Babe and her new pals. She assisted Aqualad, Robin, and Kid Flash in getting up. Aqualad was appreciative and said, thank you. Robin rubbed his wrists and said, thanks. Did you know you could make that shield thing? Asked KF. I believe the saying is Cadmus spared no expense in my creation. I can do a lot of things, WB replied. Wonder Babe looked up and Robin said, see the moon. She noticed the moon when she looked up. Such a creation was not adequately represented by the pictures, however, a few people flying into view blocked her view. Not just any creatures she knew to be Justice League members. One of them was. She whispered, Mom. Kid Flash told her, oh and Wonder Woman too. See, don't we keep our promises or what? It's a Wonder Babe didn't respond to him. Now, every dream she had while trapped in that tube was coming true. The 3 known sidekicks and young teenagers were seen by the League members in the wreckage. But the young girl with them caught the attention of the Justice League. Her clothing and some resemblance to Wonder Woman made her an almost exact replica. The young girl's blonde hair, blue eyes, and 3 birthmarks on each cheek were the only noticeable differences between the two. If I didn't mention it, early C cups, the bird symbol on her chest was the most noticeable feature. Seeing the bird symbol, Batman was the first to voice his opinion. Leaving Superman and Wonder Woman behind, he asked, is that what I think it is? Wonder Babe's murderous expression caught Kid Flash's attention. He told them, piss she didn't like being called a it. She exclaimed, I'm Wonder Woman's clone. There's no use hiding such a fact. The eyes of all widened. Batman scowled. With no room for debate, he gave the order, start talking. Wonder Babe stood aside during their story in the hopes that her mother would speak to her or even just smile at her. That would do for her. However, she was discussing their day's activities with Superman, Batman, and her friends. Once more, she began to feel unwelcome. How would her mom respond? How could she not do it? Would she turn her down? Would she not even recognize her? When someone landed next to her, she tensed for a moment. However, it was her mom. Mo, she paused, wondering if her mother rejected her. Wonder Woman inquired, how are you holding up? Wonder Babe was unsure of how to react to that. She said, I think I'm alright. She repeated, that's not what I meant. Are you alright? She rephrased, how do you feel right now? WB was able to respond to that. She remarked, I'm worried. About what? Inquired Wonder Woman. About, you, me. What the Justice League intends to do with me. What are your intentions with me? Asked her mother. Wonder Woman recognized it. She inquired, do you have a name? When she said, I'm called the Wonder Babe, she seemed a little embarrassed. Wonder Woman grinned. I meant your non-heroine name. Oh, she replied, Naruko Prince Uzumaki. Small flashback, Naruko Prince Uzumaki. Diana's name caused her eyes to widen. This caught Naruko's attention. If you want me to leave out my middle name, I will. She grinned at her daughter clone and said, oh, no, it's not that. It's just, it finally hit me. I'm a mother. The heart of Naruko soared. You mean, Naruko? What made you think that I would reject you? Without a pause, Naruko said, Cadmus. Diana gave a nod. She touched her daughter's shoulder and said, Naruko, I may not know a lot about being a mother, but we'll figure something out. My rotation with the League ends in about a week. When it does, how about I take you to meet your grandmother and your sisters on the Mistira? She said to Naruko. Naruko's eyes grew wide with joy and surprise. Really? You mean it? For the first time in her brief youth, she felt joy and excitement. Of course Naruko's embrace stopped her. Her eyes began to well up with tears. Diana simply gave her hair a quick brush. Following the joyful mother-daughter bonding moment, Flash, Aquaman, and Batman were chatting with their sidekicks. Batman drilled into them. You disregarded orders, hacked JLA files, broke protocol, and end results aside, we're not happy. Flash told them, you should have called. Batman assured them, this goes without saying, this will never happen again. Aqualad stood tall and said, sorry, but it will. Aquaman commanded his soldier, Aqualad, stand down. I'm sorry my king, but know the four of us forged something powerful here today. We will do this again. We're ready to do the things that you trained us for Batman, ready to use what we've learned. Besides, we were the bomb when we beat that Blue Hulk reject guy. KF grinned. Wonder Babe, Naruto, stood by her friends while her mother stood beside her teammates. Why would we listen to them anyway? If you guys did, I'd still be in a test tube. It's simple, get on board or get out of our way. No one was happy on the outside. Batman was inside. In a hidden place, Guardian and other senior members of the Washington Cadmus branch had just turned off the screens on 7 bright white monitors. Is it wise to leave Guardian in charge of Cadmus? Someone asked. For now, yes. We still have some form of control. The main focus of this meeting is the weapon, Wonder Babe. Such a ridiculous name that the former doctor gave her, another participant replied. The group's lone female member remarked, Wonder Girl had been taken as I know it. Now what to do with her now that she's in the clusters of the Justice League? Nothing. The 8th screen appeared. It was larger than the previous 7 and the voice had much more power. We will do nothing but observe the Wonder Babe for now. See how well she does in this environment. One of the light questioned, are you sure that's wise? What if she grows attached to those so-called heroes? My dear friends, that is exactly what I'm counting on, and if one of Wonder Woman's arch-villainesses were to get upwind of her daughter in Happy Harbor, Rhode Island, such as Circe, or Cheetah, that would be a shame now, wouldn't it? Everyone is aware of what the 8th member wanted. I have just the thing. The screens all went blank. Justice Mount. The 4-person team traveled to Mount Justice, the former Justice League headquarters that is now utilized by their group, a few days later. The 5 of you will be stationed here. Red Tornado has volunteered to watch over you while Black Carney and Huntress have agreed to train you, and I'll deploy you on mission. Batman stated to them. Real missions? Inquired Robin. Yes, but covert. The League handles the more flashy stuff, no pun intended, that's we have such big targets on our chests. The Flash replied to them. KF looked around, counting only 4 of them, and said, sweet, wait 5? The Zeta tube suddenly came to life. John Jones and a younger-looking Martian girl emerged from it. Batman gave the team an introduction, saying, this is John Jones and his niece Megan. Megan said cheerfully, hi. Kid Flash said, in his typical style, sweet. Megan went up to Naruto. Then, instead of being red and white, her uniform was red, white, and gold with a touch of gold. Wonder Woman's colors were the same as those of Naruto's civvy clothing. Shyly, Megan remarked, I like your shirt. Naruto reddened slightly. Thanks. Kid Flash introduced everyone, saying, hey, I'm Kid Flash, he's Robin, and that's Aqualad, you've meeting Wonder Babe. Megan was thrilled to have arrived on Earth and to have at least 4 friends. Hello, I'm glad to be here and hope to be a member of the team. Naruto grinned at the girl, saying, I'm sure you'll be a great member of the team Megan. After nearly a week, Naruto began to feel anxious. While nothing was happening and everyone was getting restless, she was feeling even more anxious because her mother's rotation was about to end and she would be able to see her grandmother. To see if their other friend, a young man named Speedy, would join their team, the boys went out. She believes that the more, the better. At the moment, she and Megan were the only ones cooking. She was assisting Megan in the kitchen. She was handing things to Naruto and making sure she caught them so she wouldn't get covered in cake mix. Okay, now we need 3 eggs, flour, and baking soda, and Megan was pleased to see an Earth sister assisting her. Hello Megan, cake mix. Great, now let's get cooking, she said. If anything, this cake should be the best one, and Naruto was more than happy to assist her friend. Not so much for the first 3, if it's a success. Naruto requested this because she wanted to make something for her mother when she arrived and before she took her to see her grandmother, but Megan was the only one who could assist her. In this case, she reasoned, the boys would have no chance. Megan was thrilled and felt good about this one. Okay, now we wait for it to be done. Naruto told her friend, thanks again, Megan, I really appreciate it. The only thing Megan wanted was to assist her friend, so she said, no problem. I really enjoyed it. So while the cake is cooking, you want to watch TV? Sure. If there's anything good on that is. If there isn't anything, then we could put in a movie. What's a movie? Megan questioned. You don't know what a movie is. Cadmus put a lot of things in my head, only things that would help me kill my targets when they decided to release me into the world. Whatever a movie is, it has nothing to do with that. Hearing such a thing made Megan sad. She exclaimed, how sad? Oh, I know what movie we can watch, with excitement. Okay. Naruko was clueless about what was going to happen to her. The boys came back a little later, their eyes a little more than disappointed. The fact that this Speedy did not join them was clear to the girls. Naruko asked, so, it didn't go too well, did it? Aqualad informed her, afraid not. Speedy did not wish to join us. She stated, his loss. Kid Flash remarked, now he goes by Red Arrow, not bad I guess. Everyone just stared at Naruko as she said, I wish he would join as we could use long-range support and an archer would be ideal. What? Aqualad told her, it's the way you said it. It seemed like it was said by a soldier. Being aware of the behavior of a soldier. Naruko gave a nod. While Cadmus feed me many things in their forced education, one such thing was military tactics. I have every type of military tactic ever used in my head as well as ways to counter them and ways to counter the counters of the tactics feed to me. They wanted the perfect weapon, and the perfect soldier. Child Flash remarked, that's inhumane. But it is thanks to all of you I'm no longer with them. So I guess it all worked out in the end. She stated to them. She was the perfect heroine now, after all. Kid Flash inquired, so, is Red Tornado in yet? It's been almost a week and we haven't gotten a single mission as of yet. Megan informed her friends, he is actually coming back right now. Should we go see him now? Before long, the group caught RT outside the cave. Greetings, is there a reason you've intercepted me outside the cave? He inquired. We were wondering if you have a mission for us, Robin responded. Red Tornado informed Robin, Batman is responsible for mission assignments. In response, KF grumbled, yes, but it's been almost a week and nothing. You will be tested soon enough. For now, why don't you get to know yourselves better as well as the cave, he stated. Aqualad replied, this isn't a social club. RT entered the cave after saying, yes, but I've heard that social interactions are crucial for team bonding. While floating, Megan exclaimed joyfully, well, since Naruko and I live in the cave we can give you all the tour. Kid Flash was thrilled to be given a tour by the two team beauties, saying, sounds good to me. After taking the boys on a joyful tour, Megan took them to the kitchen, where she gave them cookies. Naruko saved them from being burned. After that, they found themselves in Megan's bio. Ship. Which Megan had previously shown Naruko. She said to RT, Red Tornado, please open the hangar bay doors. When RT opened the doors, Megan grinned. She said, get ready. The team took off after she launched her ship. Robin said the ride was so smooth that it was incredible. Looking at Megan, KF sighed dreamily and remarked, she sure is. He attempted to get better, saying, the ship I mean, which is like all ships Aishi. Smooth. Said Naruko. Kid Flash, fastest boy alive, not so much his mouth, Robin replied. Dude, KF said, feeling ashamed. Naruko and Megan laughed. Kid Flash's already red face was given a lot of embraces. Taking the edge off KF, Robin said, hey Megan, how about showing us some Martian shape shifting? Megan stood up and then transformed into a female Kid Flash, saying, alright. KF questioned, is it wrong to think I'm hot? Naruko muttered, yes. Robin remarked, niece, but you're not going to fool anyone with that. Megan was still very much a woman. Megan's gaze shifted to her feet. She informed him, I know, but mimicking boys is a lot harder. Not for me. Watch. Naruko stood up and flawlessly changed into Robin in a cloud of smoke. She even sounded like Robin when she said, see, I got this down pat. Wow. Exclaimed the team, clapping. And for my next trick. Robin vanished in another puff of smoke, and Batman took his place. I am the Batman. I don't know why I wear my underwear on the outside of my pants, but I just felt like it. I won't let Robin drive the Batmobile because my insurance rate will go up if I let a 16-year-old drive it. There is complete silence. Ha 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 ha. Kid Flash rolled on the ground, giggling uncontrollably. Megan chuckled too, but not as much. Even though he wasn't entirely happy, Aqualad was fighting a smirk that was approaching the corner of his lips, and Robin was the same. Robin remarked, you perfectly mimicked his voice, and mine. She spoke to him in her own voice and body, perfect soldier remember. They gave me this power along with other, how I don't know but they wanted it all in one package, she informed them. Then lucky for us you're on our side. I'd hate to see you do that on the villain side of things. Aqualad replied to her. Agreed. I'm also glad that you all freed me. I don't want to hurt anyone. Just protect them and make my mother proud of me, Naruto replied. I'm sure she is, and we will all be able to prove to our mentors that we have what it takes. And make them proud of us, Aqualad assured her. Thanks. Red Tornado to Miss Martian. This is Miss Martian. There is a disturbance of unknown origin on the outskirts of town. Investigate these coordinates, Red Tornado informed them. Miss Martian stated, coordinates received, adjusting course. Wonder Babe, who was already in uniform, questioned, what could have made anything pop up on Red Tornado's radar that we are needed? I do not know, but we must investigate regardless. Something must have set off the cave's sensors for it to register anything. Aqualad replied. How are you in custom already? Wonder Babe gestured to the floor where her clothes were lying. My uniform is thin and small enough I can hide them under my cloths. It makes it easier for me to get battle ready, she explained. Magan said aloud, we're here. I wonder what caused the disturbance. She was told by Aqualad, I don't know, but let's deploy and find out, shall we? Right. Exclaimed the group collectively. Where Red Tornado instructed, the bio ship touched down in a tiny clearing. Nothing here. That's strange. Wonder Babe turned to one side of the tiny clearing and waited for something to happen. No, someone is here, she's hiding. Robin gave the order, Miss MC if you can find them. She tried to locate the person hiding by using her telepathy, saying, hello Megan, on it. A clawed hand then reached for Megan's face from underneath her, but Wonder Babe stopped it by grabbing the attacker by the wrist and flinging him away from her friend. When Megan witnessed that, she was both relieved and in awe. She had been saved by Naruto, Wonder Babe. A female voice spoke up from the dust cloud, saying, very good kid, not many could have moved that fast to save their friend's life. As the dust began to settle, the group of young heroes soon saw someone. A female someone. I wonder just how you really are. Cheetah, Robin exclaimed, his eyes widening. Cheetah, the woman, grinned at the young heroes and said, got it in one. She charged at them, saying, now come children, make this entertaining. Think Justice League doomed Cheetah. Robin was initially attacked by the cheetah, who kicked him, but she leapt over him and landed on his back, slamming him to the ground. When Aqualad swung his water mace at her, she jumped once more. She dug into his shoulders with her claws, then used her strength and momentum to flip him over and slam him face first into the ground. She was prepared when Kid Flash approached from behind. She gave him a swipe kick that knocked him off balance, but Megan caught him before he could fall face first into a tree. She said, I got you, Wally. Thanks, she said in a broad voice, all you kids are boring. She mocked them, saying, I was hoping for a challenge but all I get is you. The others, including Kid Flash, became irate. Wonder Babe warned her team, don't fall for her taunts. She's trying to get us angry so we will make foolish mistakes. Naruto appeared surprised. Oh, a leader, well now, Wonder Babe right? Her name should never have been given to her. Cheetah charged next, saying, let's see what you can do. The others are having trouble keeping up with her speed and reaction time. For Naruto, though, not as much as the others. Wonder Babe used both Wonder Woman's and Batman's martial arts skills to block each attack. Even though Wonder Babe had no trouble keeping up, facing such an enemy was still challenging for her. After all, this woman frequently mistreated her mother, Wonder Woman. The fight went south when Wonder Babe foolishly believed that Cheetah had given an opening and she attacked. Wonder Babe attempted to strike Cheetah, but Cheetah leapt and kicked her in the face, sending her flying. Even you are a disappointment. Wonder Babe's anger surfaced once more, but Cheetah's smile prevented it from becoming an issue on the battlefield. Megan helped Aqualad land next to Wonder Babe, saying, we need a new tactic, otherwise she will beat us. KF sarcastically questioned, what? You mean getting our butts kicked isn't a good plan? Robin landed next to the team and said, no kidding. I have a plan. Miss M read my mind. Before the boys returned, they wondered about their small incident and said, I thought I wasn't allowed to do that? It's okay, I'm going to tell you my plan, and link us up while you're at it. Oh, okay. Wonder Babe shared her plan with everyone after Megan connected them all. Got it? She inquired. According to Aqualad, got it, on it. KF quickly disappeared. Megan grinned, all right, let's get going. Naruto is giving the team a little boost in morale. Cheetah smiled. You think you have a chance against me? How cute of you to think so, she said. She performed several hand seals and said, now you'll see, Cheetah, that we are stronger than you as a team. Water style. Water wave. She possessed abilities that no one else in the world possessed because of Cadmus. She didn't know why she was able to use some of these other abilities right away, but she wasn't going to gripe. The girl had just let loose a wave of water on the field, and the cheetah was startled and leapt away. She landed on a nearby rock. She saw that the water had now flooded most of the field. She saw that the group had vanished from view when she looked up. She swung at Kid Flash, who was about to strike her, and made contact with his face before he turned into water. "A neat trick. I can't see you, but I can still hear you," she said. "Water? Ah," she exclaimed, covering her nose because there was a scent in the air that was blocking out all others. "Ah," she exclaimed, covering her nose to block out the terrible stench emanating from that water clone. "Robin now!" shouted Wonder Babe. Then Robin threw one of his red discs at the head of the cheetah. She grabbed it in spite of her current condition. "It'll take more than that to take me." The disc suddenly opened and made a high-pitched noise for a moment. Ah, her greatest strength, her enhanced sense of smell and hearing, became her greatest weakness. WB shouted, "Team now, Kid Flash." Kid Flash said to Cheetah, "All right. You kicked us around long enough, now it's our turn." Now that her senses were working against her, she was unable to act quickly enough to stop KF. Kid Flash gained enough momentum to give Cheetah a devastating punch. She came close to Megan after the punch. Miss Martian. Thanks to the soft dirt, she was able to dislodge a tree and hit Cheetah squarely with it. "I think the Earth term for this is, she exclaimed. Aqualad. She was knocked so hard that she fell into a nearby lake. Aqualad was waiting for her. He used his water hammers to give her a few solid blows before using her water manipulation skills to propel her out of the water. "I hear cats don't like water. Too bad for you." She landed on the sand after being thrown out of the water. Robin. After landing beside her, Robin used his martial arts skills to strike her in key spots, further weakening her and taking the wind out of her. After using his staff to knock her as high as he could, he used Aqualad's ability to manipulate water to knock her back into the clearing where the fight had begun. Across the soggy field, Cheetah skidded straight into Wonder Babe's boot. Cheetah was thrown into the air by Wonder Babe's boot, and she quickly joined her. Wonder Baba slammed her fist into Cheetah's face, then flipped and struck her with her boot, sending her crashing back to Earth. "Time to end this. Amazon's fury," she exclaimed. She continued to kick Cheetah repeatedly for a few more half-turns. Wonder Babe thought she heard one of her kicks strike Cheetah's shoulder break. She kept striking the villain until she fell to the soft dirt and water. Cheetah coughed up blood when she landed. Next to her, Wonder Babe touched down. She approached the villain and took her hair so she could question her. Wonder Babe exclaimed, "Who sent you? Why are you here?" Wonder Babe had the support of the other members of the Young Justice team. Cheetah simply grinned before quickly slicing Wonder Babe's face with her clawed hand, as her name implies. The team exclaimed, "Wonder Babe," as the villain's ill-advised shot hurt their friend. "That was a cheap shot," exclaimed Kid Flash. She smiled and then winced when her shoulder began to hurt a lot. "Since when does a villain play fair, kid?" she asked. She got up and said, "Think of it as payback for Wonder Babe breaking my shoulder." She noticed that Wonder Babe's eyes were filled with a great deal of anger toward her. "I would get that checked out if I were you. After all, if I had hit Wonder Woman with that, she would be screaming in pain right about now." Cheetah grinned. Wonder Babe exclaimed, "Ah," and began to hold her face. Concerned for her friend's welfare, Megan exclaimed, "Wonder Babe, what's the matter?" Wonder Babe exclaimed, "It burns." Her face was blazing. "See?" smiled Cheetah. At the same time, Cheetah could not help but smile and wince. "I guess it is true. Like mother like daughter. Being part Amazon, you have her weakness as well." "How?" inquired Aqualad. In other words, how did she find out that Wonder Babe was Wonder Woman's daughter? "You think your little trip into Cadmus went unnoticed? It's not every day that someone makes a clone child out of a hero or heroine. I'm not the only one that knows about little Naruto, don't you? There will be others, kids. I'm just the first. I'll see you all around, real soon." Cheetah then fled into the woods to flee. "We must obtain her," Robin exclaimed. "No," shouted Megan. "Megan is right. Even weakened as she is, she could beat any of us right now. Our priority should be getting Wonder Babe back to the cave. Whatever Cheetah did to her, only Wonder Woman and the League can answer for us. Megan, call you ship," Aqualad stated to Robin and the others. Although Robin and Kid Flash were upset that Cheetah was leaving after harming their friend's welfare came first at the moment. An hour later, Naruko was lying in bed in the hospital wing, surrounded by her team, Red Tornado, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Robin inquired, "What did Cheetah do to Naruko, Batman?" He was as concerned about his friend as the others were. Batman took a few more moments to study a screen before responding. Cheetah infected Wonder Babe with a deadly poison, he replied. Aqualad said as respectfully as he could, "We know that part, Batman." He questioned, "But how, and what was used?" "Exactly, we don't know. This poison is like nothing I've ever seen. It's a neurotoxin that targets the pain receptors of the body, making the body think it's in pain. The pain thinks it's in pain and any movement sets it off. This would continue until the victim dies," Red Tornado clarified. "However, what is disturbing is that it shares some similarities with poisons that Poison Ivy uses," Batman continued. Considering the numerous sisters who were harmed by this poison, including her daughter, she told them, as well as poisons that Circe used some time ago against my sisters on the Mysteria. It's highly poisonous to us. End results normally are fatal. Terrified, McGann questioned, "Will she die?" No, despite the volume of the poison within Naruto. Her own natural defenses against poisons and sickness stopped the poison before it became fatal. She will be fine in a day or two and up and about around tomorrow. Even with no antidote to give her. Red Tornado comforted them. They all exhaled a sigh of relief. "Batman, it's about Cheetah. She knew who Naruto is. She knew that Naruto is Wonder Woman's daughter. She even told us that others know about her as well," Robin told him. "It also stands to reason that whoever told Cheetah about Naruto also told all of your other arch-villains Wonder Woman." Aqualad presented his hypothesis. Wonder Woman gave a nod of agreement. Her daughter's welfare was her top priority. From behind them, Black Carney remarked, "Everyone did well. Yeah. Cheetah can give even the best of us a hard time. The fact that the six of you beat her, systemically I might add, is nothing short of impressive." Huntress complimented them. "It was nothing," Kid Flash confessed, sounding a little arrogant and ashamed. "Only to have Robin elbow you in the gut. We had a great leader in Naruto. She told us her plan to use Cheetah's strengths in her senses to make them a weakness, and we executed the plan, like a team. That led us to victory," Aqualad continued. Black Carney repeated, "Agreed. And as a team, you beat Cheetah. An impressive start to your team." Robin grinned. Speedy was wrong. Aqualad concluded, this team might just work out after all. Even though Batman didn't say it, he was impressed by their teamwork and said, "Take this time to rest, you will need it. When a mission comes up I will let you know." Batman said to McGann, "You'll need some rest, so you should get some too." She glanced back at a sleeping Naruto before doing so. Then she drifted out of the medical bay. Black Carney and Huntress also departed. Batman glanced at Diana and said, "Diana." Batman informed Diana of what he had discovered in Cadmus' files, saying, "I know Bruce. I know. That's why I need to take her to the Mysteria. There she can get more training and even train in her abilities from her ancient parent." Naruto appeared to have had two parents. Ancient One was the only name given to the person Diana was with. Batman gave a nod. "You can go as soon as she can leave. But be back as soon as you can. Young Justice already sees her as the leader of the team, even Robin, but they don't know it yet. They need her as much as she needs them, and you," he stated to her. She wanted to embrace her daughter to protect her, to leave her on the Mysteria without worrying about her, but she said, "I know, but I want to keep her safe. Away from this hero business. Away from all of my enemies. They'll target her because of me." "Is that what it means to be a mother, Bruce?" she inquired. He said, "Wouldn't know. I guess you wouldn't. But, is sheltering her any better? Trying to protect her from your enemies isn't the right way to go about this situation. If you wish to protect her, train her and make her strong enough to protect herself. That is what I would do." He began to leave. "Is that what you did with Robin? Train him to be just like you?" she inquired. The fact that Batman had kids fighting the war on crime was something she detested. They were supposed to be at home with their loved ones, shielded from the world's evils. Batman walked out of the room, leaving the mother and daughter alone, saying, "I did it so he wouldn't." Diana pondered the true meaning of motherhood. Would it be wise to abandon her on the Mysteria? "I'll protect you, my baby girl." "Mommy?" Naruto stirred slightly, only to have Diana embrace you. Unknown place. Cheetah was receiving treatment for a broken shoulder following her hurried retreat. "I told you not to underestimate them, didn't I, Cheetah?" A deep, strong, but obviously female voice asked. She sarcastically remarked to the nurse who was tending to her, "I guess you did. Ouch, easy will ya. I happen to like my arm." The bandage was removed from Cheetah's arm with a final tug. The nurse said, "All done." Cheetah questioned, "Couldn't do it any easier?" The nurse said, "No, I only have basic training in first aid, Cheetah. This is just to make the heal process start." The nurse laughed and said, "Whatever." The voice asked, "So, how did they perform?" "Good, I guess. as well as any sidekick I guess. Another voice, that of a woman, said, we need more than that. Alright, the blonde, Wonder Babe, seems to be the leader. She knew how to take me down after only one scuffle. She then somehow managed to tell the others without saying it. Cheetah stated to them. Another female voice added, the young Martian most likely helped with that. Yes, it seems like it. But even then they're a touch bunch. Unless taken care of soon, they could prove to be a problem for us in the near future. Cheetah was speaking to the others around her. I agree. We should take them out soon. The stronger voice shouted, no, at them. There was no room for debate as the voice said, they must not be harmed. Only tested and observed. Is that understood? Everyone froze. The 6 women in the shadows bowed. Realizing that, at the very least, the team would not suffer any harm. Good. How are we to proceed then? For now, we are to keep a low profile. Make sure you are not captured or suspected. After all, we are the true masters of this world. The voice said to them. Another shadow asked, when will we make our move then, mistress? Soon we will make our move. But for now complete your missions as ordered. Remember, however, in order for us to succeed we need Naruto Prince Uzumaki, the Wonder Babe. As the light dimmed, the 6 women in the group bowed again, each on one knee. The light appears to have some rivals. Why do you think Naruto was anxious? In her mother's invisible plane, she was in the back seat. She was headed to meet her grandmother and her Amazon sisters after recovering yesterday. She feared being rejected. She still had her mother, of course, but what if she was shunned by her grandmother and all of her sisters? If they didn't accept her, she couldn't handle it. Nervous? Inquired Wonder Woman. Very. What if? She assured her young daughter, my mother will love you, Naruto. Make no mistake of that. Despite their brief relationship, they have developed a close mother-daughter bond. Naruto couldn't resist referring to Wonder Woman as, thank you mom. Diana informed her daughter, there it is Naruto, the Mischira, home of the Amazons. Naruto was in awe of the Mischira's wonder. After removing the jet's cover, her mother headed to a designated open landing spot. The welcome community, which included Diana's own mother Hippolyta and a group of Amazons, was visible to both mother and daughter when the jet touched down. For a moment, Naruto's heart stopped. She felt all of her anxiety return. Wonder Woman led the way to the back of the jet's loading ramp, saying, let us go, sweetie. It's time to meet your grandmother and fellow Amazon sisters. Naruto gave a nod and trailed behind her mom. Hippolyta was the first to welcome the mother-daughter pair as they descended the ramp. Hippolyta gave her daughter a hug before catching a glimpse of the young charge behind her. Diana, dearest daughter, I am happy to see you, although unexpected but welcome. She did observe that the young girl's attire resembled that of her daughter. Perhaps she is an apprentice, but why bring her here? And who have you brought with you, Diana? She inquired. Diana couldn't help but smile at the response she was expecting from her Amazon sisters and mother. Diana made young Naruto approach her mother more closely. Everyone on the platform exchanged glances and began chatting among themselves. This young one, mother, is named Naruto Prince Uzumaki, she is my daughter. They were all reacting and looking shocked. But nobody was more taken aback than the Amazon's queen herself. Hippolyta turned to face Naruto, who was staring down with shyness and fear. Grinning, Hippolyta lifted the little girl's gaze to her own. She smiled affectionately and said, what's the matter, dear? No hug for your grandmother? Naruto cheered and gave her grandmother a hug. Her gaze shifted to her own daughter. I was unaware you were with child daughter. It hasn't been that long since we last saw each other, she asked. Wonder Woman told her mother, it is complicated, mother, we should talk alone. The queen gave a nod. Following the family's visit to the queen's throne room, Diana recounted the origins of Naruto. Naruto was somewhat concerned that her grandmother would now turn away both her and her Amazon sisters. But when her grandmother assured her that would not be the case, such thoughts were dashed. It is times like this that take away my faith in mankind, she replied. In reference to the young men who rescued her granddaughter, she said, but it is also times like this that give me hope as well. As the queen beckoned, Donna Troy, Amazon, looking young, approached and bowed. Take your little sister and show her around. I will call for you later, my daughter and I still have things to talk about. There was a "ah" from the guards as Naruto nodded and kissed and hugged her mother and grandmother before leaving the room. Of course, my queen. Come, sister. She commanded, guards, leave us. The guards departed, shutting the door after them. I noticed her last name is Uzumaki, is it? Yes, mother. I suspect as well that this ancient parent is none other than. Alongside Donna Troy and Naruto. This is the Colosseum as we train and test ourselves against each other in single combat, Donna replied. Naruko was astounded by its size. Wow, you have contests and such? Donna replied, of course, yearly or whenever the queen deems it proper. Next up is, she started, but a little fox came up to them. Donna was astounded to see the tiny animal, and Naruko couldn't help but be amazed by how adorable it was. She picked him up and gave him a hug, saying, "Ah, he's so cute." He was able to wriggle free of Naruko's hold and point with his tail. Naruko, we must follow the messenger fox. The what? This fox is a special fox. If he's here then. Naruko didn't understand. Then what? Donna replied, then the Seer Forge mistress knows you're here. Not surprising really. You must follow the fox. I must tell the queen about this. If the forge mistress sends for you, the queen must know. Donna flew toward the royal residence. She turned to the small fox and said, okay. I guess I follow you, little one. With a nod, the fox took off, Naruko following closely behind. Wonder Woman and her mother had just concluded their discussion regarding Naruko's alleged ancient parent back at the palace. After all, the fact that Naruko is her daughter cannot be a coincidence, as they both know only one person with such a distinctive name. Have you told Naruko yet, daughter? She has a right to know. I know she does. I am waiting for the right moment after I confirm it. Although in my heart I know it to be true, I wish not to give Naruko such hope that may yet be false. But aside from that, I also need help, mother. The monarch nodded. I have no idea on how to be a mother. I mean, I always wanted a daughter, but this was really sudden. I wish for your wisdom on the matter. Hippolyta grinned at the situation of her daughter. Motherhood, dearest daughter, is a wonderful thing. My one true advice for you is simple. Love her with all of your heart and guide her to be the woman she can be. Diana considered it. That sounds simple, but I feel that it's going to be harder than that. Diana pouted a little and said, it will be just like you were when you were younger. Hippolyta stroked her daughter's hair and remarked, but no less fulfilling when you see your daughter grow up to the woman you knew she would be. I should know. I am proud of you each and every day I hear of your heroics. The doors suddenly flew open, and Donna Troy was the cause. Pardon my intrusion, my queen, princess, but I feel that you must know. Princess Naruko has been summoned by the Seer Forge mistress. All of the women hurried to see this seer as their eyes widened. She had been walking in this dank, dark cave with Naruko, and the only thing guiding her to this seer was her adorable pet. After what seemed like hours of walking, she heard a sound that wasn't her own breath. It had the sound of a hammer hitting an anvil. Then she followed it and her small animal companion after spotting a light in the dark. At that moment, she noticed an elderly woman pounding. Even though the woman was only 50, she appeared elderly on this island. Step into the light, for you are quite the sight, for this old woman's old eyes, feast your own on such a prize. The older man recited. Hello? Naruko wondered if this woman was not marching with an entire army. Naruko Prince Uzumaki, the last name is from the land of Sake. I know who you are and your origins, dear child. Know that your impact on this world will not be mild. For years I have waited, in the dark damp cave, waiting for a heroine by whom this world shall be saved. Waiting, for me? But how I was made like 4 or 5 months ago. Such things cannot be explained by mortal means, just know not all is as it seems. Know that you will save this world, dear girl, that is your fate, sown to you by the 3 lady fates. She continued to rhyme. What do you mean sown to me by fate? Don't I have a say in this? To fight against such a task, you'll doom us all to the past. What's done is done, no one can change it, just like this cute as this little fox kit. Naruko's perspiration fell. That one she had to fight for? She questioned, can't you talk normally? The elderly woman grinned. The first item the seer gave Naruko was a blade, a special one at that. Now is not a time for talk, now is a time for you to claim what is yours, from the past, present, and future I give to thy, gifts from the gods and from your own sweat from your pores. First I give to thy young princess the Etro goddess gunblade, wield it well and make her proud to see the 10th moon's sorrow and shade. Accuse me. I enjoy the think goddess lighting gunblade in FF 13.2. Naruko rubbed the gunblade and exclaimed, wow, it felt magical, if you will. Even so, the elderly woman found it increasingly difficult to rhyme. Sorrow and shade. Really? The elder gave Naruko a lasso that resembled the one her mother and grandmother had. Next up is a gift of the goddess themselves. Take the lasso of truth like mother and grandmother before you. Show the world what you can do, she said. The sadness I see in your eyes betrays one with such a prize, she said, despite having these 2 weapons. With embarrassment, Naruko remarked, I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but I was kind of hoping for a shield like my mom's. The older man grinned. She went back to where she was before Naruko entered, In your eyes I see a desire to be just like your mother. Such a thing is not uncommon. Unlike this shield, as it is one of a kind. Like mother like daughter, it will serve you well, just don't develop a taste for ramen. She questioned. Huh? Where did that one come from? Referring to the ramen rhyme. The shield, however, looked fantastic. Her mother's symbol was surrounded by a red, gold, and blue outer rim. Like her mother's, the blue had white stars on it, resembling the American flag. Despite its new appearance, the shield felt very old. Enchanted since your mother left it to me. It is stronger now than it can ever be. Use it well just like your mother. Became great for the whole world to see. She said, thank you. Despite being in Cadmus, she preferred the shield because, at the time, it was the closest thing she could get to her mother. The elder gave young Naruto a jade-colored crystal and said, I have one last gift to give, from a goddess no less. A gift from a goddess is worth many things, dear child. Know that well, for one has smiled upon you. Take this crystal and receive her eternal bliss. Naruto encircled her neck with the crystal. Wow, it's so, I can't put it in words. What does it do? She inquired. The older man grinned. At times of need, words will come to your lips, say them well and full of heart, and let the light in your soul shine as it should and know you are never truly apart. Naruto lost herself in her words. The seer pushed her away, saying, it's getting late and it's been fun. Time for you to go now, young one. Naruto bowed and walked away from the seer, saying, okay. Thank you, great forge mistress. I will use these gifts well and with pride. The entire time she was there, that adorable little fox giggled, and it sounded like he was laughing at her. I'm not sure why. With her shield, gunblade, lasso, and necklace, she managed to exit the cave and saw her mother, grandmother, and several of her Amazon sisters, including Donna Troy. The first person to smile at her was her mother. Did she pull that, I only talk in rhymes bid on you? She inquired. Naruto took a moment to comprehend the question. The tick mark of all tick marks was then given to her. What? Her grandmother grinned at the irate young Amazon and said, I take it she did. The fox and the seer were giggling inside the cave. 1 week later, Naruto discovered as much as she could about her sister's past. For as long as she could, she trained day and night with her mother, grandmother, and sister Amazons. She learned how to use her new weapons and became proficient with them. Even Wonder Woman was pleased that her daughter had inherited the shield she had first used so many years ago. But good things come to an end, and the mother and daughter team needed to leave the island. But before they left, Hippolyta gave her a tiara similar to her mother's and introduced her as the second princess of the Mistira. Every Amazon applauded their two princesses. Naruto found it a bit much, but she was able to manage it because of her mother. Naruto wished to remain a bit longer, but that was not going to happen. She was currently being escorted to the jet by Donna, but she had duties on the mainland. Hippolyta gave Diana a hug and said, it was great to see you, my dear daughter. And you mother. I wish we could stay longer, but both my daughter and I must return to our duties as heroines on the mainland. Speaking of which, where is my daughter? Here, princess. Both Amazons turned to see Donna and Naruto standing behind them. Despite Naruto's red face and dejected expression, Donna was grinning. Grinning, Hippolyta gave her granddaughter a hug. You always welcome here, dear sweet granddaughter of mine. Hearing that would never bore Naruto. Naruto hurried to the jet, looking back to see Donna smile at her before she hurried away. Thank you, grandmother. Hippolyta gave Donna a look. She said more than she asked, you kissed her, didn't you? Donna grinned. An Amazon doesn't kiss deeply and tell my queen. Before they departed, Wonder Woman saw Donna's face on the jet and noticed her daughter's intense blush. In addition to asking, WW stated, she kissed you, didn't she? She received her response as she saw her daughter's blush deepen. You know, amongst Amazons, it is not uncommon for two to fall in love with one another. Mom, Naruto's blushing had intensified. Even in man's world, it is not that uncommon for two women to fall in love. There is even a few heroines in the Justice League that have consummated their love for one another. Mom. Naruto's redness increased even further. For some reason, I was thinking about a certain green Martian girl. Diana grinned when she watched her daughter pass out from embarrassment, saying, but if you do decide to court another girl, I must decide for myself if they are worthy of you. She chuckled to herself. The mother and daughter returned to the cave in silence, saying, now I know why you teased me so much as a child, mother. It is fun. Naruto was unable to look Megan in the eye for a long time after returning. It took a while for anything to happen. Kid Flash moaned, oh come on, I'm so bored. Wonder Babe told him, listen, Kid Flash, this quiet moment won't last long. She was currently changing her current name by writing it down. She wanted to keep Wonder in her hero name, so she had a few so far, like Wonder Gal. A name that was quickly scratched off was Wonder Chick. But back to my little problem, have any of you thought of a name for me with Wonder in it? She inquired. The person who was most willing to assist her with her name was McGann. Oh, how about Wonder Supergirl? She responded. Wonder Babe considered it and said, not bad, but according to Robin, it holds some linking to Superman. Yeah, the super make me affiliated with Superman. I don't want that, WB stated to her. Oh. McGann appeared dejected. WB attempted to encourage her friend by saying, it was a good name, McGann. According to Robin, Girl Wonder, Kid Flash made fun of him by saying, not a bad name, Boy Wonder. Point taken. Robin returned to his thoughts. The Zeta Tube, Batman, Black Canary, and Green Arrow appeared, interrupting their brainstorming. Kid Flash hurried the three heroes, saying, oh yes, is there a mission for us? When Batman gave him the bat glare, he stopped talking. Black Canary stopped the boy before Batman gave him the fourth degree, saying, as a matter of face, yes. Black Canary told the giddy boy, a mission for your team just came up. Batman approached the main screen, pressed the remote control, and a picture appeared. This is a picture of a small island. Normally this will mean nothing, but the island has been giving off high levels of demonic magical energy as of late. Kid Flash said, oh, magic, there's no such thing. He stopped talking after Batman gave him the bat glare. Your mission is simple, investigate and observe. The League will intervene if needed. But only if needed. That is all. Robin asked, who will be leading the mission? Batman glanced at Black Carney and Green Arrow. Even though Batman suspected Wonder Babe would be elevated to the position of leader, he said, figure that out amongst yourselves. Robin was among those who viewed her as such. You leave immediately. With a nod, the five headed for McGann's bio ship. For the most part, the ride was quiet as everyone considered who would be the leader. The majority of the team, 3 of the 4, thought Wonder Babe would be the most appropriate, but Robin thought he was the most suitable. When KF was considering that, however, he was not using his northern brain. Wonder Babe had a biased opinion, but she personally thought Aqualad would be the best. Soon after, they arrived at the island and touched down in its thick forest. The group left. Okay, according to this the demonic source is coming from the mountain, Robin replied. KF told him, dude, there's no such things as demons. I disagree. My sisters protect a demon-infested world so that it does not spill into this world, Wonder Babe replied. Aqualad interrupted Kid Flash just before he could say anything. It doesn't matter what is in there, what matters is that we recon it and report back, Aqualad stated. Pulling a Batman, Robin said, right, follow me, and disappeared. Wonder Babe and the others rushed after him, yelling, hey wait, in an attempt to stop him before he did something foolish. Wonder Babe said, Kid Flash, Miss Martian, find him quickly, among them. Both young heroes said, right. McGann zoned in on him telepathically, and KF disappeared to follow him. McGann said, found him. Wonder Babe said, lead us to him. No need to blow our first mission on a mistake. Even with McGann's assistance, the team, aside from Kid Flash, took a while to locate Robin. He was at the mountain's cave entrance. Dude, what's the deal with you running off like that? Asked KF. Robin gave him a look. He asked, what, you weren't right behind me? Aqualad informed him, no, you went off on your own before we could devise a plan. Robin, you jeopardized the mission by going off on your own. What if you were spotted or captured? Wonder Babe stated to him. He told them, you were supposed to follow my lead. Kid Flash informed him, how? We're not mind readers, except McGann. McGann informed us, yeah, but I didn't read your mind. What? Am I supposed to hold all of your hands? He inquired. No, Robin. But we are a team and we cannot read your mind. If you wish to lead you must tell what is on your mind, it might work. It might put us all in danger, Wonder Babe replied. I guess I'm so used to working with Batman. With Batman, you two were partners. You had defined roles and knew what to do. This is different from that. Aqualad comforts him. Maybe one day you will be suited to lead this team. Robin gave a nod. But regardless, we need a leader. I think you will do well, Aqualad, Robin replied. Kid Flash remarked, I think so as well. I am honored. But I think that there is someone else more and best suited to be leader of our Young Justice team, and I believe that this person is Wonder Babe. Aqualad stated to the group. Floating beside Naruto, McGann said, I think that's a great idea. Wonder Babe would be a great leader, she exclaimed, thrilled that a girl would hold such a position. What? But, even with my origins of being a Cadmus clone, she responded. Each of them gave a nod. Where you came from is not a problem for us. You coming from Cadmus means nothing to us, Aqualad replied. You've proven to be a good leader already when we faced Cheetah. You are best suited, Megan concluded. Wonder Babe glanced at Robin and Kid Flash. Kid Flash said, I'm all for it, sorry Robin. Robin gave her a look. I guess I'm unsuited to be leader. I see that. So I feel that you are best suited for the job, Wonder Babe. It's all yours, he stated to her. Wonder Babe gave a nod. She bowed and said, very well, until you are ready to take this burden from me. I will lead the team. I hope to live up to your expectations. Aqualad said, what do we do first? We do our job. First is recon see what we're up against. From there we either intervene or call the Justice League and let them handle it. She stated to them. Megan link us up telepathically, that should be the key to helping us coordinate any strategy that we might need to use on this and every other mission later. Alright. Link created. Alright. Megan enters first and remains in camouflage mode. We'll be right behind you. We can develop a more effective plan once we have a better understanding of the situation. Megan disappeared and entered the cave first, and the group followed closely for what seemed like an hour. They followed a light in the cave the entire time, which was strange for it to be there, and eventually they heard what sounded like chanting. Alright. The team said as a unit. When they arrived at the light, they saw what appeared to be a cult performing a ritual. A young girl, at least their age, was chained up in the middle of a symbol. One man, who was probably the leader, stood out from the others. He wore a red cape and had a skull of some kind on his head. My brothers and sisters are sad. We have taken Raven, the daughter of our Lord Trigon, and the portal. Pointing to the young girl, he shouted to the cultist. Hello, Brother Blood. Salutations to Brother Blood. Salutations to Brother Blood. Young Justice, above the cult, saw it all. Oh, that's wonderful. It's the blood cult, Robin declared. A blood cult? Aqualad inquired. Trigon, a demon god, is worshipped by the cult of blood. He was being brought into the world there. However, that's the extent of my knowledge regarding the bad computer, Robin explained. Dude, I told you, magic and demons are not real, KF replied. The question is not whether magic exists or not. Wonder Babe pointed to the girl shackled in the middle of the ritual circle and said, what is real is that they intend to sacrifice that girl there. Okay, Megan, stay hidden and get close to the girl Raven. When you're done, the four of us will divert your attention. After that, we'll release her and transport her to your bio ship, where we'll meet up later. After that, we'll all depart and report back, Wonder Babe said. Got it, Wonder Babe. Alright, when she's in position, the rest of us rain charge in and beat the crap out of everyone that is wearing a freaky skull mask. Sounds fun. Fair enough. Got it. To cause as much confusion as possible, the boys and Wonder Babe moved to 4 different locations, and Megan approached the young girl in chains. Hold on, Raven. We are available to assist. Raven widened his eyes and said, who are you? Friends. All right, Raven. Once you're my bride, Trigon will rise to his rightful place. Brother Blood approached Raven and put his hands on her head, preparing to kiss her. And with you as my bride all of my wishes will come true. Now, as she hurled her shield at Brother Blood's head, Wonder Babe screamed. Boy Flash moved quickly with hit dot and dot run tactics, knocking out some of the weaker cultists. Robin threw a smoke grenade, further confusing everyone. Aqualad shocked many cultists in the area with his electricity. And just before Brother Blood kissed Raven and doomed her, he was struck on the side of the head, knocking him down. Wonder Babe was knocked back again when she threw her shield at Brother Blood's head as soon as she saw him stand up. Everyone retreats. We're heading out. Raven and you in your bio ship, Megan. Yes. Pick us up at the cave entrance we came from. Right. Everyone else get out of here, meet up at the cave entrance. Wonder Babe was about to leave when she was stopped. You've made an enemy for life today, said Robin, Kid Flash, and Aqualad. And as Trigon is my witness, I shall get Raven back and give you as an offering for the mighty Trigon. Wonder Babe said, turning to look more closely at Brother Blood behind her. Wonder Babe simply leapt and fled through the tunnel they entered when he unleashed some of his blood magic on her. I will use you as a blood sacrifice and, hump. Shut up, you egoistical asshole, said Brother Blood, shielding his face. The bio ship was waiting for her as she shouted and followed her team out of the tunnel. With only rage and his own blood on his face, Blood rose to his feet. She believes that Blood is so easily defeated. He calls forth numerous demons of greed, gluttony, and wrath using his enormous blood magic. Go, my evil minions. Bring me the portal and her saver, and kill the intruders. She will offer Lord Trigon a great sacrifice. Blood commanded the demons, and each group pursued them before he started reciting another spell. The rest of her waiting team in the on were in the bio ship when Wonder Babe suddenly jumped and said, "Let's get out of here and contact the League for backup." When a red dome surrounded the tiny island, the ship began to move, and McGann in the driver's seat said, "Right." He put up a magical barrier. "We're trapped." Raven said, "It's blood." "I keep telling you, KF, save it." "Now what?" Wonder Babe was asked by Robin. "You do realize we're invisible?" She looked to Raven for answers and asked, "Head for the trees so we can get a better idea on what we're dealing with." McGann nodded. After we touched down, Raven told her Savior's team leader, "I'll share with you what I know about Brother Blood." A good strategy. However, we must first find a distant landing spot with plenty of cover. Aqualad was looking around from his position when he said to Gan, "I think that area should suffice." "Well done, Aqualad. Land there, Miss Maritane." "Right." McGann landed in the island's dense forest, where they were temporarily safe because of the many trees and brush, as well as the defenses of McGann's bio ship. Wonder Babe was staring at Raven, but she was only staring out the window. "I believe it's time for introductions. Not by choice, mind you, but if you have a better name I'm all ears, but until then I'm the Wonder Babe," she said, observing Raven's blank but unwavering gaze. "Kid Flash is that person." "How are you?" He gestured. "That is Aqualad." Aqualad said, "Greetings." "He is Robin." Robin waved, "Hi." "And that is Miss Martian." "Hey." The person who was most excited about it was McGann. "What is your name, even though we know it from the egotistical maniac?" Wonder Babe inquired. She said, "Raven." "Now, I believe that we need to know why Brother Blood wants to marry you," Robin responded. After taking a moment to collect herself, Raven said, "He wishes to bring about the end of the world." "Whoa, there's a doomsday plot in our first actual mission." "Nice," Kid Flash said. Everyone gave him the, "Really? Look." "What? How and why would Kid Flash do such a thing?" Disregarding what he said, Wonder Babe inquired. "You must know me in order to understand why and how, although I dislike telling you what I am about to tell you. I am currently at a loss for options." In return, Brother Blood received immortality and the ability to use blood magic. All of their eyes widened when he said, "If he can get me to summon the Demon Lord Trigon, my father." "Your dad?" McGann inquired in confusion. "Yes. I have the ability to bring Trigon into the world. He raped my mother to create me. However, I refuse, and for Trigon to emerge, Brother Blood is also required. Brother Blood wants to ruin me in order to awaken my evil self, Pride. Pride will awaken as a result, allowing my father to be released into the world. And the universe will end." Raven summarized Young Justice's current circumstances. "Arouse Pride?" Aqualad inquired. "My father has 6 sons, all of whom are my half-brothers. Just like in The Sin of Pride, I am Pride. The others are sloth, gluttony, envy, lust, and greed," Raven said. Robin said aloud, "Based off the 7 deadly sins." "Yes. Blood won't be able to get hold of you then. We've learned what we needed to know, McGann," Wonder Babe said. "Not now, not ever. Now is the time to call Batman and let the League handle things. Blood will do everything in his power to win Raven back." McGann displayed her communicator on the screen and said, "Miss Martian to cave," but there was no answer. "Miss Martian to cave," Red Tornado respond. "I doubt we'll be able to call him. Does anyone else see the red sky?" Kid Flash gestured out the window. Everybody looked out and saw that the sky was red, devoid of any stars, clouds, or even the moon. "It's blood." Raven informed them. "He created a magical barrier to keep us from leaving or requesting assistance of any kind." I said, "Save it KF." Kid Flash, Robin is correct. We are currently dealing with Brother Blood and his small cult. After this is over, we'll call for assistance. Besides, Kid Flash, Robin, and Aqualad, you always wanted to save the world, didn't you? She questioned the team's boys. "Of course. You are aware of its beauty. Since I acquired these abilities, it has been my dream." KF was thrilled. Robin grinned and said, "Saving the world piece of cake. Miss Martian?" "Naturally, Wonder Babe. I mean, this is a place I've always wanted to visit, and I refuse to let anyone ruin it." McGann drifted alongside Wonder, "Sweetheart." "Raven, how about you?" Wonder Babe asked the girl in the hood. Raven gave her a startled look and said, "I'm not the hero type. I am aware of your shortcomings. You're not the kind of person who will lie down and take a given fate. All your life, you have battled against this Brother Blood and his master Trigon, your father. You were born with a dark destiny, which you have been fighting and so far winning. Let us assist you, Raven. Wonder Babe extended her hand to Raven, saying, let us assist you in beating back Trigon. Wonder Babe's hand caught Raven's attention. How can I fight him? He is my father, and he is the source of all my abilities. Raven, he is not your father. Fathers are good people. Fathers keep you safe. You were raised by your father. None of those things have been done by him. Wonder Babe said fervently, he is not your father and he is not welcome here, just like his little cult following. But what if I can't? Wonder Babe's embrace silenced Raven. In this battle, Raven, there is no more we are there. All of her emotions, though still in control, seemed to take her by surprise in this new circumstance. You, me, and the entire Young Justice team, one big happy family, she said to the dark girl on the verge of losing it. We're going to fight. With a hint of hope in her voice, Raven said, I'll help you stop my father. At least now I won't be doing it alone. Then, Raven, welcome to our family and team. Wonder Babe said, I'm more than happy to accept you are part of it. Whoa. I'm eager for us to return to the cave. We have to talk about Earth female fashion. Megan drifted over to Raven and gave her a hug. Raven was a little uneasy about the green girl's display of affection, thinking that in a different universe, she would be surrounded by green people all her life. Perhaps it was fate to be surrounded by overly affectionate green creatures? Guys, Wonder Babe turned to face the team's boys. It is an honor to have another brave heroine join our team, Aqualad stated. A smiling Kid Flash said, no objections here. Having more people on our team is a good thing. According to Robin, the more the better. All right, we can tell Batman when we return, Megan said. Wonder Babe remarked, but first we have to deal with Blood and his goons. Within the mountain, Blood has been performing a ritual for some time now, and then a portal opened and someone entered, with a cat in his arms and a hairstyle that gave the impression that he had horns. The cat's eyes revealed its demonic nature and its desire for chaos and battle. What are you looking for, Blood? The young man who was looking asked. Chlorian, I need you to do something for me. In order to bring Trigon into the world, I need you to eliminate a group of young heroes and get Raven for me, Blood uttered. What do I stand to gain? Clarion inquired. Blood told the witch boy, surly, the idea of being even more chaos into this world is enough for a lord of chaos such as yourself. After giving it some thought, Clarion said, all right, I'm sold. What am I supposed to do for you? His face was menacing as he asked. Easy. With the exception of a girl holding a shield, destroy the hero group with Raven. She and Raven should live. The girl will be my Lord Trigon's first sacrifice, and Raven will bring him into the world, said Blood. All right, destroy the others and bring Raven and a girl with a shield to you, I understand. Great. The Trigon demons will help you. Blood revealed Clarion's greed, gluttony, and rage demons. The bio. Ship, all right, we need a strategy now. Blood has home field advantage, and we can't ask the League for assistance. It's not a good situation, Robin concluded. True, but we wouldn't be here if we couldn't handle it, Robin, Aqualad replied. Robin, Aqualad is correct. If we are going to make it through this and defeat Brother Psycho and his cult, we need a plan for the time being, Wonder Babe informed him. What's the strategy? Megan was asked. What is Brother Blood's power and what is he capable of, Raven? Wonder Babe inquired. The power of blood magic is contained in blood. He can heal himself by drawing blood from you. In addition, he has the ability to call forth a wide variety of demons, including greed and wrath. He is also capable of teleporting. Child Flash remarked, a short list of powers. I just gave you the essentials and what I know. Blood is capable of much more, Raven shot back. It's a beginning. That's something we can work with. Therefore, stay away from him. Blood is not in close combat with Robin or Kid Flash. What? KF shouted. Why? With more composure, Robin asked. You two are extremely venerable if Blood has the ability to drain other people's blood. Since Megan, Aqualad, and I are not human, we are inherently stronger than you two. Did I mention that Raven is half demon? She turned to Raven, who nodded. And Blood wants her alive, she said. She clarified, so he won't risk dripping her blood to beat her. Kid Flash pouted, oh man. I didn't say not in close combat at all. If Blood calls forth demons, what kinds can we anticipate, Raven? WB inquired. His favorite emotions are wrath, greed, and gluttony. Raven informed her that wrath was the most dangerous and powerful emotion he could summon. Wonder Babe nodded and started to formulate a strategy, whispering the plan to the team. All right, here's the plan. Close by Clarion the Witch Boy, holding his little pet demon, Anchor Teakle, was strolling through a field with a small group of wrath demons. Teakle, Do you think these kids will be entertaining? He asked in a deranged manner, and Teakle responded with a demonic hiss, me neither. He laughed evilly at his little inside joke. Then YJ moved. Water flooded the area from beneath the demon group, sending a few more back to their realm. Black energy surrounded one wrath demon and dragged it off before it could squeal. A wrath demon in the back was forced back into the forest and disappeared in the foliage. As he moved out of the way, a shield passed right by him, saying, "Oh, there, Teakle makes my life easier." A wrath demon wasn't as fortunate, and as soon as it was struck, it disappeared. The shield bounced back to Wonder Babe, who was standing in front of Clarion, saying, "And you must be the one blood once alive other than Raven. Just take the rest of your nose off of mine." Clarion fired his magic at Wonder Babe only to pass right through her. What? The real Wonder Babe then drop-kicked him from behind, and the first one was a hologram. "Who is that Raven?" Wonder Babe inquired. "I'm not entirely sure," Raven concluded, "just that he is strong in the ways of magic." "All right team, take out the demons first, I'll hold off this guy," Wonder Babe said, nodding. "You believe you can take me by yourself? Keep me from laughing, you guys can't even hump?" Wonder Babe's shield struck Clarion in the stomach. Why some heroes allow the villain to speak in a monologue is beyond me. The rest of the team nodded as they reviewed their previous battles, in which the same thing happened half the time. Wonder Babe charged at the down Clarion while the rest of the team hit the remaining wrath demons. I mean, while they tell you how great they are, you could have hit them at least once. Using his tech and skill, Robin froze 3 wrath demons before splintering them with his kicks. After a while of hit dot and dot run tactics, Kid Flash ran in a circle and sent the fireball back to the 2 demons he was yelling at, burning them in their own flames when they fired it out of their mouths. With his water swords, Aqualad quickly dispatches any angry demon, either by severing their head or severing their body in 2. Raven also used her magic to quickly crush and smash the wrath demons with trees. With minimal effort, Megan destroyed the wrath demons by using her telekinesis to grab trees and swing them at them. Wonder Babe was dealing with Clarion and Teakle while the team owned the wrath demons. Clarion used his magic to grab trees and use them to keep Wonder Babe away from him and Teakle, but those efforts were short. Lived as Wonder Babe used her gunblade to cut the trees into wood chips. Wonder Babe attempted to attack him, but Clarion proved to be as nimble as he appeared, and his usual eternal smirk ended when Wonder Babe's gunblade changed its gun form and fired rapidly at him, killing him and kicking up dust that blocked his view. Wonder Babe and the others grinned at their seeming triumph, but WB secretly felt that it was too simple. When the dust settled, Clarion was still there, mockingly wiping the dust from his coat and saying, "Well, now I need a bath, thanks a lot." Clarion smirked at them before shooting a magic beam at them. "Spread." Wonder Babe shouted and raised her shield to block the attack. Everyone was able to move aside except for Wonder Babe, who was sent flying into a few trees and woke up a little worse for wear. "Hey, how can a cheap piece of metal withstand that?" Clarion screamed angrily, he insisted. Wonder Babe grinned. It appeared that this person was easily irritated. "Perhaps your magic just plain stinks." "Air." Clarion wailed a series of magical blows. The kitchen sink, water, rocks, and fire. Wonder Babe either avoided the water attack because she didn't want to take a bath or smashed the attack, destroying the rocks and fire-based attacks that were directed at her. Then she threw her shield at Clarion in retaliation. But instead of hitting Clarion, it struck Teakle. Teakle scrambled Clarion to his cat's aid. The team did, however, notice one crucial but tiny detail. Clarion drew back for a moment. Wonder Babe questioned, "Did everyone see that? It makes sense now. He is a Lord of Chaos like Dr. Fate being a Lord of Order. But both lords need an anchor to keep them in this world. Dr. Fate's anchor is his helmet while it seems Clarion's anchor is that cat," Raven continued. Wonder Babe seized her lasso and hurled it at Clarion, entangling him in its golden cord. "Let's find out for sure then," she said. Clarion questioned why he could simply phase through it, saying, "So you've roped me in. What good will it do?" Wonder Babe said, "Tell me your name and how to defeat you, instead." "Go to hell." Clarion was about to say. However, what emerged was, "My name is Clarion the Witch Boy. A Lord of Chaos, and my cat Teakle is my anchor to this world. Without Teakle I can't stay in this world and will return to my world." The pupils of Clarion widened. Wonder Babe gave a grin. Wonder Babe asked, "Everyone get that?" With Kid Flash and Aqualad by his side, Robin uttered, "Oh yeah." With Raven at her side, Megan said, "Go for the cat, got it." Wonder Babe hurled her shield at the Teakle, saying, "All right, now." Teakle snarled and leapt out of the shield's path. Aqualad then struck it with a water whip. Clarion screamed angrily, "Hey, how dare you attack a defenseless kitty?" With her black magic, Raven struck him, saying, "We both know that's no defenseless kitty," launching him into a few trees. Clarion stood up and returned the fire and lightning of his magic to Raven. To defend herself from Clarion's attack, Raven raised a black magic wall, Barley. Clarion then destroyed the big rocks she threw at him. "Is that all you got, black magic mistress, daughter of Trigon?" Clarion barked. "No, but it is more than enough to defeat you, seeing as your anchor is being pummeled," Raven replied to him. Clarion's eyes widened as he realized how easily he had forgotten Tikal and how the harm the other members of the Young Justice team were doing to Tikal was causing his body to deteriorate once more. Clarion hurried, Tikal, to the Demon Cat's defense. Because of Clarion's pride, they were able to defeat the Demon Cat, Anchor, and the Demon Cat was under Wonder Babe's boot. Their triumph was short-lived, though, as Tikal picked it up after Clarion blasted them all away. "Come Tikal, let us get out of this terrible place." Behind him, a red portal opened, and the Chaos Lord and Anchor vanished. The first to get better was Kid Flash. KF pumped his fist, saying, "Man, that guy was a pain, but we beat him." Raven downplayed their victory, saying, "This victory is small and meaningless in the long run." "She's right, Kid Flash, the barrier that Blood trapped us in is still up and we still have yet to come up with a battle plan to beat him, and with little knowledge of our foe we have little hope to beat him," Aqualad stated to his companion. "Man, kill my buzz, why don't ya? We have to focus on our next goal. If we lose here the world is lost, Kid Flash. This is but one victory in this battle. There are many more to come, ones far bigger and more important than this one." "Right, but we should rest. It might have been a short fight but it took a lot out of us to beat Clarion," Megan replied to everyone. The green alien girl said, "Agreed." Raven agreed. Wonder Babe informed Miss Martian, "Miss Martian, call your ship. We'll rest there for the time being, while we regroup and rest for the battle against Brother Blood." After several hours, Miss Martian has been phoning the cave in the hopes that a signal would reach Red Tornado. Miss Martian calling Red Tornado, "Do you read?" How she has been making fruitless attempts to do so. Miss Martian to cave, "Do you read?" Robin rubbed his face and said, "Give it a rest, Miss M, no help is coming anytime soon." Megan responded, "But we can't give up." Aqualad told her, "No, but what we need to do is concentrate our efforts." "Yes, we must, and if we want to get out of here we must beat Brother Blood. Only then will his barrier be brought down," Raven replied. She had spent some time in the corner meditating. KF punched his palm, saying, "Then we need to take him down. Then we need a plan. Rushing in will end in our deaths. Blood has many demons under his control and the longer we stay here the more he can call to his island to do his bidding," Raven stated to the speedster. Robin and the other members of the YJ team turned to look at Wonder Babe and said, "Then we must come up with a plan, and fast." Kid Flash lay back and said, "Come on WB. That brain of yours should be able to think up a strategy to beat Brother Fate. Just like that kid we just beat." Clarion's ego and pride was his downfall. Blood won't fall for such petty tricks such as that, Raven stated to Kid Flash. That is the strength that Blood has as well as control over his temper. He also knows about Wonder Babe's lasso of truth as he has faced Wonder Woman before. The word, tricks, truth, caused Wonder Babe's head to lift. That might work. A light bulb went off in Wonder Babe's head as everyone turned to stare at her. KF said, "You got something WB?" "Yeah, something that just might work. Alright, here's the plan. The Blood Cult Cave. Why haven't you found them yet? They can't leave the island thanks to my barrier, they couldn't have. Clarion's defeat showed that they are on the island. Find them," Blood screamed. Raven's slightly elevated voice reverberated throughout the cave, "Blood." Raven appeared to float in as Blood looked on. "Ah, Raven, come to your senses I see. Ready to become my wife and bring about Lord Trigon's coming to this mortal world." She said, "No," in her typical voice. "I'm here to offer you one last chance to surrender." Blood is just and egotistical as Clarion, and thus has all of the weaknesses of such a person. Her statement was met with laughter from Blood and his cult. Hard. A little more than amused, he exclaimed, "Oh Raven, how can you say such funny things?" He believes himself so powerful that he believes what he sees and hears, so show him. Raven's voice abruptly changed to, "It just come naturally to me, you know." When Raven's fist struck his face, Blood was too shocked to defend himself. In disguise, it was Megan. Blood was pushed further and flew into Aqualad's waiting water. After throwing freeze discs at Blood's eyes, which were temporarily frozen shut, Robin used additional freeze discs to freeze his hands together so he couldn't do anything with them. Then Wonder Babe's golden lasso ensnared Blood. Wonder Babe questioned, "What is your real name and how do we defeat you?" "He may know about my lasso, but no one and nothing can protect themselves from it. Blood's power is his weakness. My name is Brother Blood, my power comes from blood, mine, yours it didn't matter, but I must have blood to sustain my power." Wonder Babe grinned. He was weak. However, Brother Blood escaped before she could carry out her plan any further. Turned to face Wonder Babe and broke the ice around his hands and eyes. "You think you're quite clever, little girl. I am Brother Blood, I am immortal and all-powerful." He shot WB with a red magic beam, which she deflected with her shield but which sent her flying across the room. Blood grinned. He shouted to his demons on the ground, "Defeat them all, and bring Raven to me," at them. With much greater strength and energy than previously, the YJ team was attacked by the demons of hunger, greed, and wrath. The shield that Wonder Babe sent his way was knocked away by Blood. He shot Wonder Babe with red lightning, saying, "You cannot defeat me, girl. I am an all-powerful immortal." She was now experiencing his full rage. On the ground, the Young Justice team is losing the battle against the demons. They were trapped in a corner with no escape route. Kid Flash said, "This isn't good." Then he was knocked unconscious by a demon of fast wrath. Aqualad and Robin were eliminated by a demon of hunger, and Megan and Raven were vanquished by a demon of greed. Wonder Babe watched her team lose from above. No. Wonder Babe looked up to see Blood above her and said, "Don't worry, girl." He kicked her in the face, knocking her unconscious, and said, "Your friends are alive, for the moment. They will be the sacrifice for Lord Trigon, instead." After a while, the entire YJ team woke up to find themselves bound to posts. But Raven had returned to her starting point. Exhausted to a ceremonial slab with Blood in front of her and chanting cultists surrounding her. Blood shouted to his cultist, "At last Raven is within our grasp and no one will save her now, we're cheering them all. All that is left, Raven, is a kiss and you will be my wife for all of eternity." Raven spat at him, saying, "I'll never be your wife, Blood, I'd rather die." Blood approached her slowly, relishing the moment, saying, "Oh, but my dear, you have no choice in the matter." No. The cult of Blood's binding was causing the Young Justice team to struggle. Blood took Raven's cheeks in his hands and said, "There is nothing you can do, children, but accept being offerings to Lord Trigon once he arrives," then gave her a kiss. "No," shouted the team. He said, "Ha ha ha ha, I've done it, how do you feel, my wife," as her restraints came loose. "I feel," Raven then looked up, seeing a face of complete disgust and anger in place of the 4 eyes Blood had anticipated seeing. Violated. Raven struck him in the face, breaking his helmet made of skulls. Blood took a moment to realize that the ritual had failed in some way. "But how? I did everything right. You were to be my wife, Raven," he screamed. Then, Raven disappeared, and Wonder Babe took her place. "Wrong girl, asshole." Blood also took a moment to notice what Wonder Babe was holding. She just drew the gunblade, her other weapon. His decades of training kicked in and caused it to miss him when it fired at him. However, Wonder Babe was waiting for him once more when he leapt out of the way. When surprised, he will freeze for a second. A second in a battle is a lifetime, so surprise him. "It's over." She swung at Blood, cut him pretty good, but missed a killing blow. But it didn't end there. She bounced around Blood using Megan's powers, further cutting him. With a final kick from Wonder Babe, Blood was sent straight into the hands of an irate Raven, her hand covered in her black magic. "This is for my mother." As he was leaving the cave, she delivered a punch that sent him crashing into the wall and shattering it. Then beat him. After landing close to one another, Wonder Babe and Raven turned to face the cultists, who had no chance of winning now that the demons were gone. They attempted to head for the door, but the YJ team was free. "Are you going somewhere?" Kid Flash cracked his knuckles and asked. One defeat later, the red barrier disappeared outside, and the team defeated Brother Blood and his cult. Blood, like all cockroaches, was able to get away, but the team took some comfort in the fact that the world didn't end. "It's like I said." She grinned at Aqualad and the other members of the team before turning to face the cultist who had been left behind. "So, what do we do about them? They can't all fit in Miss Martian's bio. Shit. Can they?" Glancing at Megan, she shrugged, unsure of herself. "How do we explain all of this to Batman now that we can call for assistance? That is the real question," Aqualad inquired, referring to Raven, the cult, and the imminence of the world. "Oh, that's easy." Robin joked, "We let Wonder Babe, our almost appointed leader, speak to Batman about this mess." "You need a better name, Wonder Babe." Raven grinned as she floated beside Wonder Babe. Ha, ha, Wonder Babe uttered nonchalantly. Much later. Recon and report. A straightforward mission goal. You all failed miserably. This mission alone has a startling number of errors. The whole YJ team was shocked, but Wonder Woman, Green Arrow, Black Carney, and Huntress weren't. No battle plan survives contact with the enemy, the statement reads. Your ability to adapt is what counts and defines your character, strength, and willpower. As well as who you chose to guide you, he said, leaning toward Wonder Babe. As for you, tag along. He turned to face Raven. Wonder Babe declared, she is a member of our team Batman. Wonder Woman was pleased that her daughter had rescued the real hero Raven from her father's goon, Brother Blood. So it seems, get some rest, Batman said, glancing first at Wonder Babe and then back at Raven. Wonder Woman stayed behind to congratulate the team on their victory and new teammate, while Green Arrow, Black Canary, and Huntress followed Batman as he said, you'll all need it. Nothing new occurred for several days. When Batman and the rest of the team were waiting for them, Naruto and Magan simply returned to the cave. All right, you two are here. I've made the decision to expand this team by one member, Batman said, if you don't mind, realizing there was no room for disagreement. Not Batman, of course. Like Magan, Naruto was always thrilled about the prospect of making a new friend and said, the more members, the better this team can become. Batman stepped aside to let the team see his other sidekick and said, this is Batgirl. Batgirl waved. Hey, Kid Flash said, sweet. Robin told him, back off kid, in a dimly lit area. So, you were asked to perform a service by an old friend of yours? L.1 inquired. Not taking this meeting as seriously as he ought to, Clarion replied, yep. And this? Justice Team. Defeats us? Clarion was too enraged at the idea to respond to L3's statement. Isn't that obvious? 3 times is Emery action, twice is coincidence, and once is happenstance. These children have established a league of their own. A young justice, said L.2. L.5 stated, it is what we do now that matters. In the middle of them all, a much larger screen came to life once more with the words, we shall make no alterations to our plan. However, L0. Our strategy, L.4 said, a little scared. These kids do not pose a threat to it. Actually, I've heard that ever since Brother Blood passed away, Circe has been bitching like crazy. Not less at the hands of one of these kids. The group fell silent. Are you certain? L.2 stated, none of these children or their mentors have the guts to do such a thing. L.3 remarked, it seems at least one does, so it would appear. But what do we do now, L0? L.6 inquired. Even now, our plans remain on course. The Wonder Babe is probably the one who killed Brother Blood. She is growing stronger than I ever imagined. Proceed according to our current plan. I will let you know if anything needs to be changed. The meeting was adjourned by a vote of L.0. Circe was waiting at the spot where L.0 was. So, how did it go? L.0 questioned Circe. Circe grinned. Slight flashback, immediately following Brother Blood's defeat and withdrawal. Gosh darn that girl, referring to Raven and Wonder Babe. Brother Blood was limping to the goddess Circe's throne room. He needed to recover and Circe's magic pool was the best way to do it now. Wonder Babe had cut him so deeply that he managed only to make it off the island and had to walk the rest of the way. It took him a while. But Brother Blood made it to Circe's throne. My lady Circe. In order for me to heal my wounds, I respectfully requested that you grant me access to your magic pool. Brother Blood bowed low to her. With a curly smile, Circe said, why would I blood? My pool will be covered in blood. Even after failing to bring Trigon into the world, you have the audacity to come here, Circe said, still seated in her throne. Unexpected interruptions occurred. Blood vowed to her, they won't surprise me the next time. You right, it won't, she then sprayed Brother Blood with her magic. What does this signify? Oh, you're not required anymore. It's simple. Trigon's ascent is not one of my current objectives. However, it was best to wait until those kids weakened you because you would have been a pain to deal with at your strongest. Brother Blood, goodbye, she broke him apart. Back end of Flash. Exactly how you planned it. Circe grinned as she recalled the incident. All right. I don't have enough time to do everything I need to do, so Trigon would have been unnecessary extra baggage. For the time being, at least, there is no need for something that believes he is all powerful to try to impose himself on this world. However, Trigon might come in handy eventually. L.0 told Circe, but for the time being, keep that piss-ant pest of a weakling in chains, where he belongs. Of course, Circe bowed low to L0. Something she would never have done if she hadn't realized the power L.0 possessed inside of her. As Circe walked away, L0 spun around in her chair and saw something that looked like a crystal ball but was much larger and black, and that still made her shiver when she looked at what the crystal ball showed her. It was staring back at her. Once again the Young Justice team were waiting for mission from Batman or any other news. Batgirl, while new to the team, wondered if this was an everyday thing. But the team were not totally idle. It's party time. Still wearing his mask, Robin shouted from a pair of swim trunks. Since summer had begun for them, the team had made the decision to spend the day at the beach. Barbara said, mockingly dejected, but first, a moment of silence for Wally, who couldn't make it today. In her human form, Megan wore a two-piece swimsuit that was red and yellow, and she said, "Poor Wally." Raven, whose cover name was Rachel, was wearing a simple one-piece suit that was more than sufficiently covered for her tastes, and she refused to change the way she was dressed. "So, I look okay in this?" Naruko asked with a hint of embarrassment. "You look fantastic." "Correct, Megan?" Barbara uttered those words. "All right," in support of Barbara, Megan said. Barbara took the Dark Mistress of Magic, the Martian, and the Cadmus clone shopping for swimsuits last weekend. She made them wear a variety of outfits, some modest, some not so much. Rachel, Megan, and Naruko finally decided on something they liked, and Megan wore a two-piece string bikini with tiny, short-like bottoms. It's unclear how Barbara persuaded her to buy it. In addition to wearing a two-piece, Naruko was less modest than Megan. She wore a string bikini in the colors red, gold, and blue, but it was more like a standard bra and thong than Megan's. "You look fantastic." Robin uttered those words. Like Megan and Barbara, Aqualad commented, "Yes, that swimsuit suits you well, Naruko." He made an effort to keep his gaze above her neck. "All right, enough chatter. It's time to start the celebration." As Wally was struggling in school, Robin yelled, and the celebration began. Swimming, barbecue, burgers, you name it, it was done. After a lengthy celebration of freedom and burgers, the party came to an end. Megan and Naruko didn't have to because they hadn't started school yet and wouldn't until next year, but they thought that partying now would help them deal with it when it did. Nevertheless, they were told to meet up with Batman and Green Arrow in the main hall, and when they arrived, they were accompanied by two well-known members of the Justice League, but they weren't alone because they had a young blonde girl who was about the group's age. Not Naruko's or Megan's, as she was about 3 months old, but they looked 15 and 16. Before the Zeta tube opened and the fastest, tardiest boy alive ran in, Batman began, "This is Artemis. This is the Wall Man." Then he fell. Artemis outwitted the group before they could laugh. "The Wall Man. Good landing. What are you able to do?" She posed the question sarcastically. KF raised his gaze to Artemis and said, "Who are you?" He inquired. "My name is Artemis. Your new teammate, Green Arrow's niece, and your new apprentice," Artemis informed him. She didn't need her lasso of truth to tell her that the whole niece thing was a lie, but Naruko assumed as much. She approached the archer and said, "Greetings, Artemis. I am the Wonder Babe, whose real name is Naruko Prince Uzumaki." Naruko extended her hand and said, "As team leader of Young Justice, I welcome you to the team." After examining it for a moment, Artemis said, "Just like that? We don't need a new teammate, or hazing?" Anticipating it from everyone, Artemis inquired. "No, I'm satisfied if Batman and Green Arrow believe you're good enough to join, or even if your heart is in the right place to join," Naruko remarked. Naruko and Artemis shook hands. "Wonder Babe, did you think of that one?" Artemis asked. However, she regretted it when she saw the despair clouds over Naruko's head. As she floated beside her, Raven informed her, "Naruko is a little sensitive about her heroine name." Artemis turned to Raven and said, "So why not alter it? She hasn't found a good replacement name. Why not Wonder Girl? Already taken by someone else." Roy Hopper, also known as Red Arrow, entered the cave as the Zeta tube flashed back to life, interrupting Raven and Artemis' conversation. "Hey, Roy, you look," began Green Arrow. He said sarcastically, "replaceable." Naruko didn't like the tone of his voice. "That isn't it. You mentioned that you were going it alone, so." After assessing Artemis, Roy said, "You don't have to explain. Can she even use that bow?" "Yes, I am able to. Do you want to see?" Artemis teasingly said, "Put an apple on your head." Kid Flash cut Roy off as he was about to respond, saying, "Look, Roy, we don't have a quota on archers. And you know who we would choose if we did." Red Arrow wasn't calmed down by that, but he put it aside for the time being. "Enough of this, I've come here on business." Roy displayed a photo of a young woman. Does anyone know who this is? Knowing that Batman already knew, he asked the YJ team. Dr. Roquette, Serling. Everyone was surprised to learn that Naruko was a Claytronus specialist and a nano-robotics genius at the Royal University in Star City. What? I watch a lot of TV. Although she knew the truth, she didn't want to tell them because of Cadmus, who had given her a list of names and faces of people they might have kidnapped her for. She vanished 2 weeks ago or so. Naruko concluded. Although she didn't know Roy as well as the boys, she was aware of his abilities. She didn't disappear. Roy clarified, the League of Shadows abducted her. Whoa. You want us to save her, Deep? Did Robin ask? No, I completed that task. But not before she was able to make them something. She refers to it as the fog. It has the ability to simultaneously download data and destroy anything it comes into contact with. This could be used by the Shadows to obtain high-security codes from military installations, Wayne Tech, and Star Labs. It will not protect anyone. You need us to protect her while she makes an anti-virus to destroy the fog, right? Naruko asked, taking in everything he said while considering the best course of action. Naruko inquired. Yes. Roy came to the conclusion that although she is currently off the grid, the League will send assassins for her as soon as she is on it. Are you going to fight with us? Raven inquired. After glancing at the dark girl close to Artemis, Roy said, no, my work is down, here. He handed Naruko the datapad and said, that's where the doctor is right now. Roy left after correcting the system regarding his new name, but not before saying, my work is down. Raven mockingly remarked, what a charming guy. Yes. But he had a mission when he left us, and it will require our combined efforts. In addition to the lives of those we are here to protect, lives are on the line. Naruko instructed the team to prepare and meet at McGann's bio. Ship in no more than 10 minutes. All right. To keep Artemis from getting lost, McGann, guide her to your ship. Later, we can show her around, Naruko informed McGann. All right. Artemis, follow me. McGann drifted alongside the Archer. Batman and Green Arrow remained in the main room after the group had left. Green Arrow remarked, girl sure knows how to take charge. It was a component of her Cadmus conditioning. They were looking for the ideal soldier, but she became a hero because she wanted to be like Wonder Woman. Green Arrow and Batman departed via the Zeta Tube, saying, let's go, Green Arrow. We have things to do too. The 8-person team was prepared for the mission, and after 10 minutes or so, they piled into the bio. Ship and McGann guided them to the doctor's location. The group met with the doctor later that evening, and they prepared to clear the fog and keep her safe. Miss M, in order to prevent the enemy from separating us, Wonder Babe instructed McGann to establish a mind link. All right. Everyone on, link established. Baby, you're loud and clear. I am able to read you. This is strange. A practical ability. Nice. The bat. Calm. Links back home are inferior. The doctor grumbled, great, now I have more than half a dozen teenage heroes in my head to go along with my life in danger. Kid Flash asked, lady, do you always complain when people are trying to help you? This isn't the moment, kid. Wonder Babe interrupted him. All right, Batgirl and Aqualad, you two will always be by the doctor's side. Nobody will approach her without your knowledge. On it. No issue. Kid Flash, you will be on inner perimeter. Run around inside the school to make sure nothing and no one is already here waiting to make a nasty surprise. No problem. Miss M. Raven. You two will be under close observation. Miss M, keep yourself and Raven hidden from view and watch for any movement. Wonder Babe, on it. All right. Robin, Artemis, and I are going to be on outer perimeter watch. Wonder Babe warned the group to be alert for anything that shouldn't be there. Yes, it shouldn't be an issue. For several hours, nothing occurred. The doctor continued trying to figure out how to clear the fog while the group watched over him or their sectors. After her air recon, Wonder Babe touched down. So far, nothing, she informed the others. Artemis turned to face her. Oh, that girl. She saw Wonder Babe take a step backward. Artemis said that to Wonder Babe, and for some reason, McGann didn't like it. She is able to hear you. McGann said to Artemis, we can all hear you. Oh, I understand. Artemis grinned. McGann defended Naruko, saying, you're embarrassing Naruko. Artemis grinned and said, I didn't hear her complaining. With a hint of jealousy, McGann questioned, must you challenge everyone? It's how you survive where I'm from. What? Are you her girlfriend or something? Artemis inquired. McGann stammered, what? No, I'm not. She's a girl and a friend, but she's not an Earth girlfriend. For some reason, Naruko's heart pounded a bit. Very annoying. Dr. Roquette whispered. Everyone. The task. I'm replaced on outside watch by Batgirl. Wonder Babe entered the school and said, I'll take over your shift on the Dr. Roquette. Thank God, Batgirl whispered. I heard that. Dr. Roquette was aware that her remark was a slight. Doctor, can you find the weapon, Roquette? Aqualad inquired. It is not a weapon, the fog. Brilliant science, that's what it is. Yes, I am able to track it. But I would have to use the internet. Assassinate me, in bright red letters would be a good neon sign to rent, the doctor said. Dr. Roquette, we must put an end to the fog. We'll keep you safe. Wonder Babe assured the doctor, if Batman believed we weren't prepared, we wouldn't be on this mission to protect your life. Well, you said, putting it that way. Putting it the way Wonder Babe did made Dr. Roquette feel a little more secure. Wonder Babe sent Robin and Aqualad to destroy the weapon after Dr. Roquette found it. She considered sending Batgirl, but Robin could manage it without assistance from some strength. It was best to go with Aqualad. After an hour or so, nothing occurred. The doctor was working, and the school was silent. The eyes of Wonder Babe grew wide. There is someone in the school, everyone. I simply sensed their vitality coming into the space. Southside Kid Flash. Yes. Wonder Babe, on it. The doctor was followed by Wonder Babe, awaiting the report from Kid Flash. Oblivious to the fact that Kid Flash had not yet reported in or that the door had creaked open. The only indication that something was wrong was a faint hiss of wind. The Dr. Roquette was knocked down after a tiny dart struck her neck. Wonder Babe left for his job. She punched the assassin through the window with her speed. They sent the assassin into the wall. The female assassin raised her head. The assassin grinned behind her mask and said, "Ow, but mission accomplished." Wonder Babe then kicked the assassin, but the young woman was able to escape most of the harm. Not today, Catgirl. Dr. Roquette was in the room where the assassin landed. She gazed at the doctor's lifeless body. And then it was gone. She exclaimed in shock and surprise, "What? Where is the body?" After her, Wonder Babe hurried in. Wonder Babe positioned herself with her shield and said, "Not here, Catgirl. Dr. Roquette is safely away from here, and you'll never find her. Never such a long time, and my name isn't Catgirl, it's Cheshire." Cheshire leapt for Wonder Babe, but Wonder Babe used her shield to deflect Cheshire. After landing on a desk, the she-cat assassin broke it. To clear her mind of the stars, she shook her head. In order to avoid Wonder Babe landing with enough force to knock her down a few levels, she performed a backflip. She threw some kunai at Wonder Babe and said, "This is getting interesting." Wonder Babe blocked most of them with her shield. She was scratched by a couple of them, hardly making a scarlet impression. Wonder Babe mocked as she prepared her lasso, "Nice try, but we Amazons are tough and so is our skin." Cheshire retorted, "Well, my knives are really poisonous." Wonder Babe grinned. Cheshire dodged Wonder Babe's shield and said, "I'm immune to nearly all types of poisons. Nothing you got can affect me." Cheshire produced 10 more kunai and said, "Then let's test the limits of your immunity." Each had a hilt strip of a different color. She began to toss them all. However, Wonder Babe's gunblade blocked them all. She transformed it into a gun and aimed it at Cheshire. "Give up. You can't win." She dropped a smoke bomb on the floor, and the room filled with smoke. "Maybe this is getting too interesting. I'll just have to search harder for the doctor." Cheshire was nowhere to be seen when it cleared. "Team, I'm on my way." Cheshire, the assassin, got away. Don't let your guard down for a moment because she is a cunning person. How has the mission gone for Aqualad and Robin? Flying to the team's location, Wonder Babe said. When the doctor found the fog, she ordered the whole team to move, but she remained and created clones of the team and the doctor to trick the Wood.be killers. This time it worked, but there will be more since the assassin escaped. They just came in. There is no longer a Star Labs location in Star City. McGann responded, "All of the data is gone, and it will be months or even years before we know what they took from it." "Now, where is the weapon?" "At the go. Aqualad and Robin are still pursuing us," Batgirl replied. "I'm nearly there. Cheshire will probably get back up to complete the task." Wonder Babe advised the team to be prepared. Wonder Babe arrived shortly after, only to find Kid Flash and Artemis scowling at one another. Wonder Babe said, "What did I miss?" to Batgirl. KF blames Artemis for chasing away Red Arrow from joining the team. Artemis tells him that it's not her fault for it was his choice. Batgirl provided the details. Wonder Babe approached Kid Flash and Artemis and said, "I see." Both of us continued to glare at one another. She pulled them apart and said, "That's enough. Listen, both of you. Kid Flash, it is not Artemis' fault that Red Arrow did not want to join. He decided that of his own free will. Besides, this is not the time or the place for this. Whatever problem you two have with each other must be dealt with after the mission, not during, she stated. They both exclaimed, fine, and turned to leave. McGann remarked, this is going to be a long night. Raven asked in a corner, what was your first clue? Regardless of that fact, we will fight tonight and protect the doctor. Get to your posts, she will come back and she will bring friends. Wonder Babe gave the order. I'll handle Cheshire, she is crafty enough that only Batgirl and I could take her. The rest of you will handle whatever team she brings with her. I'll assign accordingly, she informed them. Batgirl pondered. She sounded like Batman from the way she spoke, as if she would know how to set targets just like Batman. She shrugged and said she would ask after the mission. After some time, the group was observing the surroundings. They were all prepared for the possibility of another attempt on Dr. Roquette's life, and they all knew it was coming. Cheshire was still in shock over her defeat at the hands of Wonder Babe. Cheshire gave her small team instructions, saying, okay, the plan is simple. Distract the bodyguards. I'll take out the target. Oh, and the one they call Wonder Babe is mine. Hook, a spider. Man Reject, and two old friends made up her team. The first was Scandal Savage, a member of the Light and the daughter of Vandal Savage. The second wore body armor that was entirely black. Nothing about her armor caught the eye or stood out. It was a fairly straightforward plan. Wonder Babe, nearby, was not taken by surprise. There are 5 of them, including one from Cheshire. Be prepared, she informed the team. Naruto said aloud, Miss Martian, stay cloaked and do a wide perimeter sweep of the area. Being aware that Cheshire and her team were close by. She was proven correct after receiving a kick to the head and being struck by a car. Cheshire commanded, I don't intend for the odds to be even again. We end Roquette now. They all disappeared after her team nodded. Wonder Babe woke up while they were gone, unharmed. All right, team. Up until Cheshire approaches Dr. Roquette, Miss Martian remains hidden. Low. Time Merc Hook and the Spider. Man Reject make up Cheshire's backup. Hook is handled by Kid Flash. He can't capture you. The Spider rejects Batgirl. His training is nothing compared to yours. Dealing with the other two will be more difficult. Savage, Scandal, and an unidentified person. This is a little more difficult, but not impossible, because of the unknown, Batgirl remarked. Raven, you use your strength and training to handle Scandal. McGann, you assist them when you can. Scandal is strong and vicious. Be careful and let me know when they figure it out. Dr. Roquette, I'm on my way. I know, Artemis. I trust you to handle the unknown. Use your arrows to keep her under control. Thanks Wonder Babe. Artemis was astounded by Wonder Babe's faith in her. Dr. Roquette was relieved to learn that Wonder Babe was en route to safeguard her, saying, thanks, I'm almost done. The battle had begun. The unknown female assassin Artemis was dealing with had CQC training and was dangerous with it, but more than that, she had the ability to control water like Aqualad. Artemis used her acrobatic skills to avoid falling into the water. Meta Assassin's deadly trap, and she used her arrows and skills to keep her at bay and prevent her from killing her. One thing that unnerved her was that this one didn't speak at all. A huge tower of water came down from the ground and headed for Artemis, where she quickly drew her arrow and fired it into the rushing water, causing it to hit the water and freeze there. Artemis did what she had to do to survive, placing chairs and desks between herself and certain drowning, but the water assassin continued to fire water at her, saying, sorry, no one is getting me wet tonight. She shot the water assassin with an arrow. The water assassin reached for the arrow and gazed at it until it blasted gas into her face. Artemis grinned as the water assassin toppled over, saying, thought that sleeping gas might work. Raven struggled with Scandal because of her speed, strength, and overall power, which made her a formidable opponent to face. Raven's magic was the only thing that gave her an advantage over the other members of the group. Scandal's blades and skill made her as deadly as a person could be. Fortunately, Wonder Babe had some hand combat, so she would survive this. Using her magic to create shields to protect herself made Scandal a little more manageable, but Scandal had serious training, making her even more deadly than most people would believe. Raven continued to defend herself as Scandal swung quickly at her, but when she feinted high and came low, Scandal sliced across her midsection, causing her to fall to the ground. As Scandal prepared her kill shot, Raven was struck by a desk. A desk was placed in the path of the arrow when Cheshire, high, aimed a small crossbow at Dr. Roquette and fired. The Martian is back. Now we're done. Cheshire kicked Dr. Roquette in the chest, saying, it's over Dr. Roquette. Raven then used the desk to hit Scandal, giving her the time she needed to send Scandal flying out of the building. The doctor then changed into McGann. Cheshire nearly grinned as he said, you'll never find Dr. Roquette. It's never that long. She shouted to Scandal, who had just returned to the building. Pursuing the target keeps them busy. Scandal nodded. Going after their leader. Keep them occupied, Artemis instructed the group. You are not in charge of me, Kid Flash shouted. Just get it done, Artemis responded with a shout. Kid Flash simply sneered and resumed his battle, seemingly effortlessly outpacing Hook with his speed. Hook threw his hook at KF, only to have it smash against a desk, destroying it. KF then grabbed it and began running around Hook at an ever-increasing pace until he was caught in his own weapon. Beat y'all in a flash, KF boasted. The Spider-Man assassin was a little more difficult for Batgirl to deal with because, despite his skill, he was no match for Batgirl and the training she had received from Batman. As a result, to her, Spider-Man's moves were slow and predictable. She anticipated his punches, kicks, and dodges. Nothing he did surprised her. This irritated Spider-Man, who took advantage of the opportunity to sweep her legs, but that was exactly what Batgirl was counting on. She leapt and dropped a pellet, and the area around him was filled with smoke. He threw his head at her while she was about 5 feet away. I have a filter in my mask in case this is sleeping gas. Thus, it will not work on me, he mocked. Batgirl grinned back at him and said, it's not sleeping gas. She pulled out another pellet and armed it, saying, it's highly electronic dust. She threw her weapon, a mini grenade that was charged with static, which caused a lot of electricity to be sent into the dust, shorting out his tiny suit and knocking him out. Batgirl made a tiny crack at his expense and grinned, saying, another spider bites the dust. Oh, I so don't like being played. Cheshire discovered where Wonder Babe should have been outside. She grinned when she noticed some footprints in the dirt, glanced back, and caught an arrow that was headed for her head, only to have it spray something in her face, causing her to fall to the ground. Artemis leapt close to Cheshire and grinned, gotcha. Sorry, Archer girl, she said after tripping Artemis with a leg sweep as she approached Cheshire, kicking her in the stomach and knocking her to a tree. Filters are built into the mask. Nice attempt, though. Cheshire turned to face her target. Wonder Babe and the real Dr. Roquette were together. Wonder Babe was on guard, and Dr. Roquette was still working. How long until you finish with the anti-virus? Wonder Babe inquired. Almost finished. How is your team doing? Have they vanquished those who came after me? Are you still working? Asked Dr. Roquette. Nearly. Only 3 are left. Wonder Babe told her, sensing Cheshire nearby. Then with blinding speed she grabbed an arrow aimed at Dr. Roquette's head. She then broke it. Nice try, Cheshire. However, my corpse is the only way to reach Dr. Roquette. Even though that would be a waste, Cheshire grinned. We can make arrangements for that. When Wonder Babe produced her shield, Cheshire smiled and raised her say. Cheshire then used her skill and deadly aim to attack Wonder Babe, but Wonder Babe used her own skill to block her attacks and then slammed her shield into Cheshire, sending her flying. Hurry, Dr. Roquette, finish your anti-virus. Wonder Babe didn't give up on Cheshire and slammed the end of her shield at her. Cheshire rolled away, but the shield struck her again, sending her through the building's wall. With a small sense of relief, Dr. Roquette finished her antiviral medication and sent it to Robin. Wonder Babe jumped on Cheshire, grabbed her shoulders, rolled her above her, tossed her with her legs, and slammed her into a wall. Wonder Babe then executed a front cartwheel and kicked Cheshire as she was just getting up. Wonder Babe didn't let up and threw her shield at Cheshire, who blocked it as best she could, but her mask cracked down the middle, dropping her to the ground. This is Robin. The fog is destroyed, Dr. Roquette can through for us. The Wayne tech they wanted is out of their reach. The group and Wonder Babe grinned. WB grinned as she pressed Cheshire's face against the wall, saying, well, we win, Cheshire. So it seems. Then we have no other reason to be at each other's throats. So, can you let a girl go? Wonder Babe said, sorry, nice try, but no, I'm taking you and your team in Cheshire. Cheshire let out a sigh. Can't blame a girl for trying. Wonder Babe could tell Cheshire was thinking. Cheshire dropped a bombshell. What if I told you I can tell you a few things about your ancient parent? When Wonder Babe turned hostile, she swung Cheshire around and slammed her once more against the wall, further cracking it. You have 10 seconds to explain before I pound you into the ground. Cheshire shuddered and grinned. This girl has a way of making a girl feel both excited and afraid. It's simple, really. My boss takes orders for this person, never seen this person's face or even heard their real voice. This person uses a voice changer. I don't even know your ancient parent's gender. But, my boss takes orders from your ancient parent. And when I report back, this person will take to my boss and I'll be there. Combine the fact that I am a ninja, I can get at least something for you. All you have to do, Wonder Babe responded, is let you go and risk whatever crime you do is on me. Come on now. Will you ever get another chance like this? You might find out something in a decade or two. Or you can let me go and find out who this person is in a mouth or two. So, we have a deal," replied Cheshire. Wonder Babe gave it some thought. She was inclined to refuse to let her go. It didn't seem worth it to her. Cheshire noticed. "Come on, don't be such a broken babe. Let me go and find out about your ancient parent." As a heroine, Wonder Babe detested her name. "Don't call me that," she said. Even worse was Broken Babe. However, her curiosity about her background outweighed any moral reaction. She released Cheshire's embrace. Cheshire took off her mask and planted the most passionate kiss she had ever given Naruto, saying, "Nice move. And to show you my gratitude." Naruto instinctively closed her eyes, too stunned by Cheshire's expression of gratitude to resist. Cheshire took the initiative. She grabbed Naruto's ass and squeezed after hooking her right leg around the back of her knee. Cheshire was able to get even closer to Naruto's mouth as she moaned. But when Cheshire attempted to break the kiss, she gave in, much to her embarrassment and shame. The next thing Wonder Babe knew, she was against the wall, but she had no idea how long the kiss had lasted. Cheshire smiled, Cheshire, at her. Cheshire told Wonder Babe, "That was great, you're a great kisser. Next time we meet, I'll have something for you." Wonder Babe was still confused. Huh? The taste of Cheshire was still in her mouth. Cheshire moved around the corner, leaving the stunned heroine behind. Before an arrow removed her mask, she was free to go home. "Don't move," Cheshire said mockingly. "Oh no, I'm completely at your mercy." Artemis saw Cheshire's face and exclaimed, "You? What now? You going to bring me to justice and let your friends interrogate me? I wonder if your position is secure enough to survive them learning everything I know." Cheshire grinned at Artemis. Artemis brought her bow down. She threw some smoke bombs and said, "Didn't think so." And just like the Cheshire Cat, I'll simply disappear. She disappeared. Kid Flash and the rest of the team arrived shortly after, wrapped around Hook and Spider. Man in a light pole. Scandal and the water assassin appeared to have made their getaway. Kid Flash exclaimed, "Where is she? Where is Cheshire?" Artemis lied and said, She got away." KF showed Hook and SP. Pissed. "No surprise coming from you. As you can see, we got ours." Raven said, "Most of them. Scandal and the water assassin got away." Dr. Roquette and Wonder Babe came around the corner. "Don't be so hard on Artemis, Kid Flash. Cheshire got away from me too. She is slippery. I'm starting to wonder if she even has bones." Wonder Babe laughed. Wonder Babe put a comforting hand on her shoulder and said, "But Artemis, Dr. Roquette is safe and the fog is destroyed, with your not-so-small part. Welcome to the team." KF replied, "Yeah, I guess you did all right." Batgirl grinned and said, "Welcome. The JLA and YJ could always use more heroines." "Oh wow, I'm so happy. I've always wanted a sister. Well, I have like 12 on mares, but it's not the same." McGann smiled broadly. Artemis grinned. "Wouldn't know." Raven joked, in her typical tone of voice, "Welcome to the team of outcasts. Whoopee." After being picked up by Aqualad and Robin, the group returned to the cave after dropping Dr. Roquette off at a location of her choosing. Wonder Babe noticed something when she sat down. Near her ass check, she removed an item from her uniform. There was a time, place, and location listed in the little paper. She must have put it there while they were sharing a kiss. As the group headed back to the cave, Aqualad broke the silence by saying, "What bothers me is the unknown water assassin that Artemis faced." From her corner, Raven remarked, "I agree, she can use water just like you, Aqualad, and we didn't even see her face." Recalling her battle with the unknown, Artemis remarked, "Nor did she talk." "It doesn't matter right now. If she works with Cheshire again, we will see this water assassin again in the near future. We shouldn't dwell on it now," Wonder Babe replied. Artemis came home to Gotham later that evening. She flipped and aimed her bow at the darkness as her instinct took over. Red Arrow approached the shadows and said, "Nice moves. You almost made me believe that you're Green Arrow's niece." Artemis' eyes widened and then narrowed as she said, "But we both know you're not. Don't worry, I won't say anything. I'm sure Batman and Green Arrow have their reasons for lying. But I warn you, do anything to harm my friends, you will regret it." "That's enough, Red Arrow," Wonder Babe said as he swooped between Red Arrow and Artemis. Artemis felt frightened and startled. Wonder Babe defended Artemis, saying, "Artemis is not the enemy. She is a friend and a worthy warrior and part of the team. Something you're not." At the leader of Young Justice, Red Arrow squinted. "And I don't fully trust you either, Wonder Babe. If you don't trust me, and if you're worried about your friends, why not join to protect them?" she inquired. Red Arrow's eyes narrowed once more. Wonder Babe reprimanded Red Arrow, saying, If you won't join, then don't question the loyalty of any member of my team, their origins or anything else without proof. I may not have joined and most likely won't anytime soon, but that doesn't mean that I won't to protect my friends. We'll be speaking again, Wonder Babe, Artemis. Red Arrow walked away. Artemis was moved that someone she had only known for a few hours would stand up for her with such fervor. How much did you hear? Nothing I don't already know. I knew that you weren't Green Arrow's niece, Artemis. I didn't mind then and I don't mind now. I meant what I said back at the cave, Artemis. And whatever secret you have is yours to give, and you will tell us when you are ready, Artemis. Not a moment sooner. Wonder Babe stated to her. Artemis cast a downward glance. She said, thanks. Wait, what are you doing here? Wonder Babe nearly had no response. Scooping a place out on my own. My own little thing, she replied. Oh, okay. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell the others. Wonder Babe surprised Artemis by giving her a hug and saying, I'd already said I wouldn't, Artemis. So don't worry. But if you ever need to talk to someone, I'll always be here to talk. Talk to me when you're ready. Artemis remained stunned. Okay, thanks. 1 week later. After completing her tasks, Naruko arrived at the meeting spot that Cheshire had prepared for them. She was at the Black Valentine nightclub in Gotham. She didn't know much about it and didn't realize the club was. She remarked, only women are present. She gave the door lady a code word of some kind, and she was admitted without any issues. She was unaware that she had entered a lesbian bar. Cheshire said she would meet at the bar, so she walked there. At the bar, Naruko took a seat. I'll have the Black Valentine, please. I'd like to tell you what Naruko is wearing right now. She nearly regretted asking Artemis for assistance, but it wasn't an error. Artemis bought her a knee-length, sleeveless black dress. According to Artemis, it was modest enough but a bit tight to flaunt her curves. She waited for the unmasked Cheshire to arrive. She pondered her cover name and identity. Naruko turned to face the girl sitting next to her and asked, Hey there, why is such a pretty thing like you all alone? Cheshire was the place. Naruko said, and you are? Jade said, name's Jade, sweetie. What's your name? Naruko's eyes narrowed. She finished the drink in front of her and said, Naruko. Jade winked and held out her hand, saying, You seem lonely, wanna dance? Naruko wished she had said no, even though she knew it wouldn't work. Jade made Naruko extremely uncomfortable during the approximately hour-long dance. Jade did nothing but dance, rub, grab, and grope. Her dress really didn't conceal anything. It was a jade green two-piece dress that barely covered her assets and had no top stripes. They were the center of attention on the dance floor, and Jade led Naruko off. Naruko said, Can we talk now, Jade? Jade grinned. Of course. But not here, too many people here. Don't want people to find out what we're talking about now, do we? Jade replied quietly. She escorted Naruko to a woman who was staring at her desk. She said, extending her hand, One please. The woman glanced first at Jade, then at Naruko, and finally back at Jade. She handed Jade a black key in the shape of a heart and said, Another one? Naruko gave Jade a questioning glance. Naruko inquired, What was that about? Oh, nothing. Jade grinned broadly. She guided Naruko to a door with a key that matched the door's black heart. It was a veritable love nest when she opened it. Everything, including the dresser, doors, and bed, was shaped like a heart. After guiding Naruko inside, Jade shut and secured the door. Naruko gave Jade a wary glance. She questioned Jade, What's your game? Jade licked her lips and gave her a Cheshire smile. With a hint of lust in her voice, Jade said, Well, you see, I've learned a few things about your ancient parent, but I can't seem to remember them. She walked to Naruko, swaying her hips, saying, I might need a little help remembering them. She circled her heart and said, Care to help me remember? Over her chest, Naruko folded her hands. And why should I? We agreed. I let you go. You tell me about my ancient parent? Don't back out of our deal now. Otherwise I will take you in next time. Jade grinned. Oh come on, broken babe. A little fun won't hurt you. I mean, don't you want to force me to tell you everything I know about your ancient parent? And as you know, we girls don't respond well to threats. Naruko squinted at Jade, disapproving of the direction this small game was taking. Naruko said, But he gave in. I told you not to call me that. She won't get what she wants by threatening a ninja. If the only way to make you squeal on what you have on my ancient parent is to make you squeal, then so be it. Lime. Jade was pushed onto the bed by Naruko. Then, without any opposition, removed her tiny top and bottom. Exposed Jade's most prized possession after ripping off her underwear. A shaven, clean pussy. Naruko was attracted to a clean, shaven pussy for some reason. Jade gave Naruko a seductive smile and said, "Oh, so forceful, I like. You might not like it so much when I'm done with you. If I must do this I might as well enjoy it." Naruko deliberately and crudely attacked Jade's pussy. She stuck her tongue as deep into Jade as she could. Jade squealed. "Oh god, yes. Don't stop." Naruko had no intention of stopping. There was no point in suffering herself and allowing her passion to rule her for the time being, as she knew Jade would find this enjoyable. She extended her hands and gave Jade a firm tit squeeze. Between groans, Jade managed to say, "Oh yeah, figures an Amazon would be a good muff muncher." Naruko reached down with one hand and inserted a finger and her tongue into her pussy. When the digit entered Jade, she groaned. Naruko began pumping in and out of Jade with her finger. Oh god, coming. For whatever reason, Naruko swallowed Jade's sperm. Naruko rose and lay down beside Jade. Naruko questioned, "Well, is that enough?" Naruko narrowed her eyes at Jade and said, "Well, I remember some things, but not everything." Jade climbed on top of Naruko and planted a kiss on her neck, saying, "I think I might need a little more help." Then, with a little assistance from Naruko, removed her dress, removed her bra and began sucking Naruko's nipples. Naruko lets out an involuntary moan. Lapping the valley between Naruko's breasts, Jade said, "I knew you'd like this." She wasn't satisfied with Naruko's moistest breasts alone, though. After licking Naruko's toned abs, she lowered herself to her stomach. And lower until she was looking at Naruko's underwear and between her legs. Let's see what's behind door number 1. As Naruko's ecstasy high faded, she became conscious of everything. She screamed, "No," and crossed her legs. Jade grinned at her timidity. Jade was able to tear away Naruko's underwear because she was so shocked when she said, "Oh, don't worry, princess. I know all about your little friend down here." To expose the 6-inch limp cock of Naruko. Until it reached full mast, Jade gently rubbed it as if it were made of glass. Jade grinned and immediately put the entire thing in her mouth, saying, "It's hard to believe you can have this thing with just a little Amazon magic." Even the loader groaned. She bucked her hips high but remained down. Naruko pumped her cock and hips into Jade's mouth, but she didn't mind. When Jade looked up, she saw the joy and ecstasy in Naruko's eyes. Then Jade decided to give Naruko a breast augmentation. She slowly moved her tits up and down after sandwiching them around Naruko's cock. "Ah, Jade." Jade accelerated her pace when she noticed Naruko's cock's head was so close. "That's right, baby, say my name. I make you moan it out," she said. "Jade. Ah." Jade retreated as Naruko exploded onto her tits and face. Naruko's girl cum was all over Jade's body, from head to stomach. Both her breasts and hair were covered in white cum. She licked some off of her finger. Jade grinned at Naruko's flushed face and said, My favorite brand of milk, girl cum." "Is that enough?" Naruko inquired. She didn't wish to remain there any longer than was necessary. Jade grinned. "I'm satisfied, for now," Jade told the young Amazon princess, who was flushed. Lime at the end. The two were dressed and heading out of the club in a matter of minutes. On Naruko's left arm, Jade is hanging. When Jade fulfilled her end of the agreement, they were outside with an ally. "Alright, Naruko. I'll tell you what I found out about your ancient parent, and damn it scares the shit out of me. Alright, first off, your ancient parent is a woman, so you have two mothers. A natural-born lesbian." Jade grinned. The crack did not appeal to Naruko. "I was made, not born, Jade. What else?" "Ah, you're no fun. Anyway, your ancient mother is more connected than any other person in the world. There isn't anything that she doesn't know. Now here's the scare part of all of it. She funded LexCorp, Star Labs, all of the major science corporations, even Wayne Inc." Jade took a deep breath. Now even more freakiness. She trained Ra's al Ghul in everything he knows. Naruko's gaze expanded. Ra's al Ghul? As in Batman's mentor and trainer? Yes, that makes her at least 900 years old on that alone, but what? Naruko was starting to feel anxious because she hadn't anticipated this. "The last thing I found out blows all other things out of the water. Based on what I got on her, she's older than even that. Based on what I got, she's around a few billion years old." "What?" "That's what she said. She said she's older than the Guardians of Oa, and they are a 2 billion years old," Jade stated to her. When Naruko discovered this, he was taken aback. If it were accurate, how is that possible? Jade gave a headshake. Around Naruko's heart, Jade said, "Don't know. But I'll find out, for a price of course." Before leaving the Amazon there and vanishing into the night, he gave her one final French kiss. Both girls had no idea that someone was observing them. even snapped a photo to preserve the memory, or extortion. In the interim, Sector 2814 of Space Zamaron, who appeared youthful, was speeding through space. A group of Red Lantern Rage Mongers stood behind her. Vice at the front of the pack. Among the Red Lantern Corps' most powerful units. He is second only to his master. The Zamaron was covered in her own purple blood, her Star Sapphire uniform was ruined, and she was under stress. Then, behind her, she started dodging the Rage Monger's red spiked chain structures. She created a shield to deflect the spiked hammer that descended from above, but it broke. Much of the force of the attack was felt by her. She was trapped and twisted by red chains that prevented her from escaping. Give up, Zenma. You can't hope to win. Surrender the ring, and I'll make sure you die swiftly, Vice said to Zenma. No, Zenma exclaimed. With immense power, she broke her chains, sent Vice flying, and killed many members of Vice's Rage Monger team. As Princess of the Zamaron race, I will never give you this ring, she exclaimed. She launched herself into space with the last of her strength while they were still stunned by her attack, searching for a planet that harbors sentient life. Vice's target was absent when he and his Rage Monger team arrived. One Rage Monger said to Vice, "She's gone, my lord." I see that, you mongrel. Vice used a construct clamp to destroy the Rage Monger. Vice screamed at the remnants of his team, "Find her, she is too weak to get far. There are only so many planets she could be. Spilt up and find her." Each of the Rage Mongers divided up and took a planet that the princess might inhabit. A pink colored meteor was en route to Earth from above. The princess of the Zamaron race, Zenma, could be seen if one looked closely. She was guiding herself into Earth with the last of her light power. She only needed to fall. Anyone could fall, it wasn't difficult. She appeared to be a pink falling star from a distance. Before long, she collided with a mountain range, leaving it with a sizable dent. Naturally, a lot of people who saw it took notice. The young Zamaron princess was bleeding and weak in the crater. She removed her ring. She said to the ring, "Choose will," and it launched into a pink beam. Mount Justice. In the meantime, Rachel, Raven, Megan, and Naruko were simply chatting. Rachel was meditating, Megan was baking a cake, and Naruko was coming up with a heroine name for herself. Rachel said, "Why don't you just go by Wonder Girl? Because it's one of those, it must be passed down, things. And since even villains follow that rule, I'm stuck with Wonder Babe until I figure out my new name." Rachel replied. It resembled an unspoken regulation. Megan had a good point when he said, "Then why not ask your mother for the name?" Naruko stopped breathing. 1. I would be pissed if that's all it took, and 2. Because I wish to be seen as my own person one day, like everyone else on this team, and lastly. Awesome crash. Megan and Rachel both glanced in Naruko's direction. The table she was at and the chair were all that remained. A hole in the mountain was the only indication of her whereabouts. That's new, Rachel said sardonically. Tower of Watch. The Justice League was hosting some guesses while they awaited their mediator, but this was not known at the time of the recent events. The mediator eventually arrived at the tower. Hal had just received the watchtower when one of the Green Lanterns said to him, "Lantern Jordan. It's good that you're finally here." Hal inquired, "What's going on?" This. Batman showed Hal a photo that the other Justice League members had seen through the Green Lanterns. Hal recognized the planet as soon as he saw it. Astonished that the planet of a whole race had turned into a smoldering floating lava rock, he questioned, what happened? They were attacked with the full force of the Red Lanterns. Many of their more powerful Star Sapphire Corp members were away at the time of the attack. They stood no chance, a Green Lantern stated to Hal. With the emotional spectrum out of whack, the universe will soon feel the effects. The emotion of love will soon be hardly felt. Humans being the most emotional beings of the universe, they will soon feel it before most. A Green Lantern warned him. But there is some hope. A few Star Sapphire Corps members survived. One was seen in this sector. Most likely came here to Earth. Hal questioned, "Who?" The JLA was merely observing at the moment. The Princess Zenma. She holds the second most powerful ring of the Star Sapphires. If she made it here, we have to find her. "No," shouted Batman. "With the Green Lantern," Batman said. "If she is here, we will find her." Other than Hal and John, Batman didn't need or want the Green Lanterns on Earth as it was. "This is our planet and we will protect it." Batman was not a surprise to Hal, but the way he said it did not make him happy. "No, it is okay, Lantern Jordan. We will respect the wishes of this world's champions. However, you are charged with finding the Princess Lantern Jordan. She must be protected if the emotional spectrum is to be put right." The Green Lanterns then left the watchtower. Hal turned to face Batman. He questioned Batman, could you have been any more of a douchebag? Batman simply gave him a scowl. Bio. Ship? Wait, time out. 1 second, you're all doing your thing, you cooking and you meditating. The next Wonder Babe is flown out of the cave in some purple-pink light? Asked Artemis. Artemis arrived at the cave and observed the current mental state of the other two girls just before Raven and Magan departed to find Naruko. Raven, her fingers on her head, said, just about sums it up. Raven's tone annoyed Artemis, but she chose to ignore it in order to find Naruko more quickly. Now quiet. I'm trying to find Naruko. With Naruko continued to fly quickly until she came to rest in a mountain range forest. She stood up and surveyed the area. She noticed a creator close by. She found a Zamoran who was bleeding to death after racing as fast as she could to reach the victim. The young-looking Zamoran was told, hold on, I can get you help, she said. Your name, warrior, exhaled the Zamoran woman. Huh? Your name? My name? Naruko Prince Uzumaki. Naruko, I am Princess Zenma, last of the Zamoran race, Star Sapphire Corps member 0002. Hey, hold on, I can fly you to the cave to get you help. Zenma gave Naruko the ring and said, it's too late, my wounds are fatal. The ring, it chose you. Take it. The last of the Zamoran race had died when Zenma said, take the ring, take the sapphire, say the oath, protect your love. Report on ring status. Star Sapphire Corps member 0002 has passed away. The ring said, in a voice that sounded feminine, then drifted over to her. You have a lot of love in your heart, Naruko Prince Uzumaki. Welcome to the Star Sapphire Corps. In her hand, the ring dropped again. She told herself, the oath, because everyone knows the oath. She somehow knew the oath, and the ring flashed a violet light. For hearts full of fear and long lost. For people who are alone on the darkest night. Take our ring and come fight with us, violent light conquerors of love. She saw her new clothes after being taken out of her civvies and into her own Star Sapphire Corps uniform as a violent light engulfed her. Her shoulder pads consisted of a single, long spike with tiny, outward-facing serrated spikes. Her fingers were armored with spikes, and the back of her hand to her elbow was likewise armored with serrated spikes. She also had armor on her legs. Spikes extend from the inside of her legs all the way around to the opposite side of her leg, pointing back, from foot to knee. If you could call it that, it was her body plate. It began by completely covering her breasts, then curved to the side of her main body before descending and covering her front ends and back like armored panties. She was wearing nothing else. She asked herself, are all Star Sapphire Corps members' uniforms like this? Unknown location, a woman said, the home world of the Star Sapphire Corps has fallen. The voice of a strong woman said, I thank you for faith in me, Carol. She inquired, how many Corps members survived? As Carol Ferris told her mistress, not a lot. Out of the 3,600 members in this universe, only 5 of us remain. That includes the newest member of the Corps. So it would seem. But love is the strongest emotion out of all of them. You know it, I know it. Even with it weakened as it is, it will still conquer all. Carol concluded, love conquers all with violent light. The female voice said, yes it does. Send out the youngest member of the Corps to greet your newest sister. Of course. Apprentice, find your newest sister and bring her here. I'll call the last of our Star Sapphire sisters to this world for protection. A pair of bright green eyes nodded and disappeared. With Naruko, for protection and to be alone for the time being, Naruko fled from the mountains to a tiny island beach. She possessed one of, if not the last, rings of the Star Sapphire Corps, and it appeared that an entire race had vanished. Now she could only think. Her friends weren't what she wanted. Naruko. Artemis's voice prompted Naruko to turn. Apparently, it was too late to avoid their involvement. Magan sadly embraces Naruko and says, we've been worried about you. Raven inquired, what happened? Naruko held up her brand new ring made of Star Sapphire. This happened. This is. Magan said, a Star Sapphire Corps ring. Naruko told her friends, yes, a Star Sapphire crashed on Earth. Her ring chose me. I don't know why. As far as I know, each ring picks the one most suited for their space sector. I guess you're the most suited for this sector, Naruko. Magan told her. At that moment, Naruko's ring blinked twice. She and her friends were protected by the onset of her own instances. It broke like glass as a red spiked hammer crashed into it. The girls were knocked out of the center by the force of the attack. The girls turned to see what had struck them. It's a red lantern, exclaimed Naruko. Die! The rage monger yelled at the girls while brandishing red, bladed chains. Raven and Artemis Magan leapt aside as Naruko formed another shield. Naruko was knocked back. After recovering, Artemis shot the Rage-Monger with an arrow. The arrow was blocked by the Rage-Monger's shield. Then it shot her more chains with blades. Artemis was quick enough to avoid it. Raven then aimed some trees at the Rage-Monger that were coated in her black magic. The Rage-Monger sent some ravens toward them and used his axe constructs to destroy them all. To get away from them, Raven tumbled into a black portal. While in camouflage, Magan got close and delivered a barrage of punches that caused him to take a serious hit. After taking her final blow, he started to get hotter, being aware of the Martian's vulnerability to heat and fire. Magan started to perspire and grew weaker every second. Magan. Naruko hurried in her full Star Sapphire uniform to confront the Rage-Monger. Naruko used a shield construct to slam the Rage-Monger. A shield similar to her own. After launching the Rage-Monger into the air and freeing Magan from his grasp, Naruko managed to capture her. She said, "Magan, are you okay?" Magan raised his head. Using the back of her hand to feel her head, Magan managed to say, "Yes, although I feel weak." She placed Magan gently on the ground and stood in front of her, saying, "Okay, rest up, I got big, red and ugly." Raising two jagged sword constructs, the Rage-Monger charged Naruko. Naruko was more than prepared. She continued to use her shield construct but added blades, throwing it just as she would have with a regular shield. The Rage-Monger used his weapons as a shield to defend himself, but Naruko's shield with blades was superior because it cut the Rage-Monger nearly through. The Rage-Monger collapsed, his body leaking blood like lava. It was evident how hateful he was of Naruko. The group and Naruko noticed that the Rage-Monger was accumulating a lot of red energy. He exclaimed, "Die Star Sapphire," as the red energy began to flare up. Oh shit. Naruko hurriedly surrounded herself and her companions with a shield. Boom. Not only that, but the bomb the Rage-Monger created out of his own wrath broke Naruko's shield like glass, sending her and her companions hurtling into whatever remained intact. Unlike Magan, Raven, or Artemis, Naruko was not knocked out. Report on ring status. Red Lantern Corps member 3015 has passed away. To replace, Sector Scan 3015. When Naruko passed out, the last thing she saw was a green-eyed figure flying toward her. Artemis took a long time to awaken. She glanced around and noticed Raven and Magan close by, but Naruko was not there. Artemis screamed, "Magan, Raven, wake up," and shook them awake. First, Magan said, "Huh? What? Huh, Artemis, what happened?" Raven followed. "My head. Raven. Raven, get up. We need to get back to the cave. Naruko is missing." "What? Can you hear me, Naruko?" Magan made a valiant attempt to contact Naruko. "I can't reach her. There is nothing more we can do here. We need to get back to the cave. I can find her from the cave, and we can get the rest of the team to help out," Raven said to the other two girls. Magan was concerned, saying, "But what about Naruko? She's been kidnapped and she needs our help." Artemis informed the worried Martian, "We can't find her like this. We get back, get the rest of the team, then find Naruko." "We don't have a choice, Magan. We can find her from the cave. Call your bio. Ship Magan." The thought of leaving Naruko to fend for herself did not sit well with Magan. However, Artemis and Raven were correct. She called her bio. Ship, and they could locate her from the cave. In the hopes that Naruko would hear her, she mentally said, "We'll find you, Naruko, please hand on." Unknown place. The effects of the blast caused by the Rage-Monger were still being felt by Naruko. She was still dazed and confused. For starters, she felt as though she was lying on a soft bed rather than hard ground. "Is she all right?" a firm voice asked Naruko. Naruko heard another voice say, "Yes." So soon after receiving the ring, she faced and beat a Rage-Monger, a Red Lantern elite. Not many could say the same. The first voice repeated, "Teach her in her new powers that she has. She will need them for later." Naruko was gently pushed back down when he attempted to stand up. Naruko looked up to see a red head standing over her and said, "Lay still, Sister Sapphire. Your injuries were many." Eventually, Naruko managed to ask, "Who are you? How rude of me. I am Star Sapphire Corps. Member 0003 Coriander or Starfire on Earth." Naruko saw the young woman, who appeared to be at least 15 or 16 years old. She found everything about her body attractive, including her orange skin. Naruko was compelled to gaze at her enormous chest. At that moment, she noticed Starfire's hand telling her to look up. "I believe the Earth term is, 'My eyes are up here,' not that I mind you looking at my assets, as it is a compliment to my race." Starfire laughed. Naruko turned away, flushed. Silently, she said, sorry. It is fine. As I said, it is a compliment to my race for anyone, man or woman, to look at my figure. Starfire comforted her. Then came another thought. Where am I? How did I get here? She tried to get up and exclaimed, my friends. Where are my friends? Your friends are fine. Maybe a little sore and weak when they wake up, but otherwise all right. Your shield protected them from most of the blast and your own body shielded them from the rest of the blast. She was told by Starfire. Another woman drifted into the room and said, I see our guest is awake. Starfire bowed to the Queen of the Star Sapphires and said, yes, Queen Carol. Naruko questioned, Carol? As in Star Sapphire Carol Ferris? Carol informed the young Amazon, the very same. One of the last of the Star Sapphire Corps members. You being among the last, Naruko. That didn't sit well with Naruko. You know who I am. How many people were aware of her true name? Your little fight with Cheetah was famous in the underground almost the same day. Just about any and every so-called rouge of your mother's knows your name and who you are, Naruko. But don't worry, those that do don't intend to let others know, Carol said to her. Naruko questioned, why am I here? Am I a prisoner? Carol informed the youngest Star Sapphire, no, of course not. Once we train you how to use your power ring and the full power of love, you're free to go. Later, with Carol to the side, Naruko stood in front of Starfire wearing her Star Sapphire uniform. As you know, all power rings of the Star Sapphire Corps is powered by love. The stronger the love you feel for anyone or anything, the stronger your constructs will be. The person or persons or a home, anything that you love will do. However, love is also a complicated emotion. You must always love even while fighting. For when you are fighting, normally hate is what you're feeling in the heat of battle. You must suppress your hate and feel only love in your heart. Starfire will help you with your training, Carol clarified. Starfire shot a beam of light at Naruko, saying, yes, I shall. This shall be most fun. In the cave, Robin said, say that again. You heard me, Wonder Boy. Someone took Naruko when we were all knocked out after some alien red monster thing blew itself up, Artemis clarified. Magan explained, a red lantern, or rage lantern. Aqualad said, any idea why someone would take her? Kid Flash added, any number of reasons. She is Wonder Woman's daughter after all. That might not be it. When she was taken from the cave, she was taken by a Star Sapphire ring. At that moment, Batgirl jumped in. That could be a reason, and if that's it, it might have to do with the Star Sapphire Carol Ferris. Aqualad said, Carol Ferris? I don't know that name. Carol Ferris is the Star Sapphire Corps queen and the current leader of the Star Sapphire Corps, and if that is the case, then maybe she took Naruko because of the ring, Batgirl concluded. While mediating in front of a globe hologram, Raven remarked, someone is masking Naruko's magical energy. I can't find her like this. There must be a way to locate her, Artemis said, kicking the wall beside her. The group started to brainstorm, with Batgirl coming up with the first thought. I got an idea, but I don't think that. What is it? Magan interrupted Batgirl. Well, we could get assistance from Hal Jordan, also known as the Green Lantern. He could perform a planetary scan to find the Earth's high levels of love. It's likely that Green Lantern will locate Carol if Naruko is with her. Aqualad remarked, a good plan and it might work. With concern, Magan remarked, it has too. Robin, get in touch with Hal Jordan at the Justice League. We'll require his assistance, Batgirl informed Robin. On it. Robin went to type what he needed on the computer. Batgirl said, Magan, have your bio. Ship ready when we get the location of Wonder Babe. Right. Turning to the other members of the team, Batgirl said, the rest of you, be ready to move out at a moment's notice. Everyone turned to face Raven. Wait. I can locate her. I can search for high concentrations of love in a particular area, Raven informed her. All right. Robin, bring up the 3D globe again. Robin paused and glanced at Batgirl, who nodded. Robin typed what he needed to type once more, and the 3D map appeared. Raven returned to it, focusing her power on the areas with the highest concentrations of love. After a minute, a tiny raven appeared on the 3D map, positioned in the center of the ocean. There. We're leaving now. Prepare your ship, Magan. The stronghold of Star Sapphire. When Starfire put up a shield to shield herself from Naruko's gunblade construct, there was a sound like breaking glass. Naruko won their brief battle by pointing her gunblade at Starfire, and both of them disengaged their constructs. You've come a long way, Naruko, she said. In such a short period of time, farther than I had anticipated. Don't think I'll join you, Carol, Naruko said, bowing. I have to protect and care for my own team. Starfire scowled. I never thought of it, Carol said with a smile. Naruko, We are the last remaining star sapphires in the universe, which is why I trained you. To rebuild our core, we need all the assistance we can get. Because you are Princess of the Star Sapphires, you will play a crucial role in Naruko's life. Carol grinned at the startled expression. What? You didn't think that being Star Sapphire Corps member 0002 was just a number, did you? Starfire is my right hand because she is 0003. However, all of that is for training. Thank you. Carol suggested to Starfire that they take Naruko for a leisurely stroll on the shore. A good concept. Come, Naruko, let's stroll along this island's sandy shore and engage in Earth girl conversation. Starfire pulled Naruko away. She has grown strong, a strong female voice voiced. She has that. However, this is hardly surprising, considering her parents' personalities, Carol remarked. It's true. Do you believe Starfire is capable of luring my daughter in? The female voice, who is now Naruko's mother, asked. She does, of course. Even within her own race, she is very sexually open. Carol smirked and said, although I am surprised you want your daughter seduced. Carol smirked as she glanced at the screen, which featured a hidden figure and abruptly ended as a answer to her question, though so. Food was the topic of conversation as the two girls strolled along the sandy beaches of the island where they were on the pair. But what I love most is the food of the gods known as the pizza, the girl said. I enjoy adding a variety of meats and toppings to it. For example, pepperoni, sausage ketchup, and peanut butter. Naruko gazed at her, picturing peanut butter on pizza, which sounded delicious in theory. Isn't it glorious? She questioned Naruko. That wasn't a lie. Yeah, it sounds good. Now I'm thinking about it. So, Naruko, tell me what you enjoy, Starfire inquired. Well, I might have to try pizza with peanut butter sometime because I do enjoy it. However, have you ever combined cake and ice cream? Naruko inquired. Combined? Starfire had never attempted it. Yes, Magan once made it for me. Never noticing the slightly envious glance Starfire gave her, Naruko exclaimed, it's amazing, it's mixing two of the best sweets in the world and then it tastes divine. So, is this Magan what we call a girlfriend in Earth? Starfire asks inquisitively. Naruko took a step back and attempted to respond to Starfire, blushing more than the sun. Huh? Oh, no, not at all. She is a friend but not a girlfriend, even though she is a girl, Naruko says, waving her hands. Starfire grinned and kissed Naruko on the cheek, saying, good. After a moment of shock, Naruko regained his composure and said, so, how did you get to Earth, Starfire? Naruko inquired. With a dejected expression, Starfire said, that is a sad story. You don't have to tell if you don't want to. No, everything is fine. Something I don't know destroyed my entire world. Along with my kind, my mother, father, and other family members were all killed. My sister and I are the only ones who survived, but I'm not sure where she is right now. When Carol found me on Earth, I discovered my purpose. I soon became a Star Sapphire and received this ring. Doesn't it fit my name? Starfire inquired. Naruko grinned and said, yes, it does, Starfire. Well, said Starfire with a smile, how are you now? How did you come to be regarded as this planet's hero? Starfire inquired. Looking down, Naruko said, I am an experiment. I was created by a group of people who worked for Cadmus. They created me using the DNA of Wonder Woman, the greatest heroine in the world. My mother is Technically Wonder Woman. They also used someone else's DNA, but they refer to her as the Ancient One in the records. I don't know much about my second mother, Naruko clarified. I see, Starfire grinned. Starfire told Naruko, I don't care how you are who you are. What matters to me is what you do with who you are. Her eyes widened. Thanks, Starfire, I've never thought of my life like that before. Naruko had never considered it that way and had always felt, for some reason, out of place. Now, an alien girl gave her wisdom that was right in front of her. Starfire twirled while floating and said, it was my happiness, friend. Allow us to move forward a little more to my favorite spot to receive the sun's rays in bathing form. Starfire dragged Naruko to a location she had mentioned. It wasn't much different from the rest of the beach, but it was surrounded by slightly elevated rocks, and the sand glistened in the sunlight. Come friend Naruko, let us become bare and bath in the sun. Before Naruko could blink, Starfire removed her jeans and shirt, leaving her in her bra and underwear. Ah! Fire! Starfire blinked at Naruko, asking, what's wrong? Do you not want to take a naked bath in the sun's rays? You don't simply take off someone's clothes. Starfire appeared disoriented as Naruko yelled in a humorous manner. Both Starfire and Naruko were lying on the sandy beach, sunbathing, while Starfire was naked and Naruto was wearing a bra and underwear, both still using the Amazon magic, after some explanation and some time to relax. May I ask a question, friend Naruto? Sure. What's a mate? Do you have one? Face planted, if you can, Naruto. What? Why would you ask that? Because I don't have a mate and I have to find one to pervert my race, Starfire said, giggling before floating onto Naruto and stunning her beyond recognition. But more than that, because I want to find love. She kissed Naruto deeply, and she relaxed when Starfire whispered something in her ear. Naruto had a sweet, dreamy expression on her face. Why, Starfire? Still in shock, she asked, Lime. I'll tell you the truth, mate Naruto. My race's abilities become more powerful than ever when one of us finds the person we were meant to be with. Starfire kissed her again, but this time it was deeper and lasted longer, and somehow Naruto got into it too. I believe, no, I know you are my destined one mate Naruto, Starfire said, kissing down Naruto's neck. My power, mate Naruto, has never been stronger than it is right now with you in my arms. Naruto was unable to resist Starfire's advances, so she took off her bra and began sucking on her nipples, switching between the two at regular intervals before licking the valley between her breasts and letting out a moan. Now mate Naruto, I shall give you a taste of what our race's life mate feel during love, Starfire said, turning up the heat and moving lower to Naruto's toned stomach. Feeling helpless to stop Starfire or her touches, Naruto went down lower and took off her panties. Naruto had just realized what had happened and was waiting for rejection, but she was shocked when Starfire kissed the male organ without even batting an eyelash. After taking Naruto's entire member in her mouth, Starfire bobbed up and down, consuming her entire length in one go. How do I get into these situations? Naruto asked herself. First Jade, then Starfire, it seemed like she drew the dangerous ones to her. Her thoughts were interrupted when Starfire sped up her tempo and bobbed more quickly. Oh Starfire! Starfire smiled at Naruto's reaction and she went faster. Starfire! When Naruto entered Starfire's mouth, Starfire swallowed what she could and then let go of Naruto's cock, but Naruto continued, and Starfire's face and chest were covered in a lot of cum. As she continued to lick some of Naruto's sperm off her body, Starfire grinned and licked some off her face and tits. Your essence tastes divine mate Naruto. The remainder of Naruto's sperm was rubbed into her skin like lotion or sun.tan oil. Lime and Starfire's rings beeped before they could do anything more to annoy Naruto. The sound of a beep is heard, as 3 pairs of red, spiked hammer constructs crashed down on the area they were relaxing on. Both of them sped to get out of the way. Starfire was not pleased with the interruption, and pissed off was not a strong enough word to describe her current emotional outburst. You dare to read too much into our private moment, they were shouted at by Starfire. 3 rage mongers stood in front of the 2-star sapphires. One was large, blue, and built solely for power. The other was smaller than Big Blue but still larger than the third. This one was red, and the final one was green, but his skin resembled rocks, giving the impression that he was built for speed. Ah! Acquire them! Boom! An exploding arrow stopped the 3 rage mongers, and Naruto and Starfire saw Naruto's young justice team when they looked up. My friends, it's perfect timing, Naruto informed them. Kid Flash remarked, I would have arrived sooner, but traffic was a killer. As Batgirl put it, talk later Red Lanterns now. All right. On the green one are Raven, Robin, and Kid. He is built for quickness. Naruto told them, Kid, keep up with him. Raven and Robin distract him with your range attacks while Raven blinds him. All right. Kid Flash was thrilled. Raven and Robin both said, right, simultaneously. The red one is faced by Batgirl, Aqualad, and M'gann. He has a better balance between power and speed. Aqualad, Batgirl, slow him down, and M'gann, you beat him up. Aqualad pulled out his water blades and said, right. Batgirl pulled out her batarangs and said, been there done that. On it. Starfire is with Big Blue, and Artemis is with me. He has some speed and is entirely power based. Give us range assistance. If you can, try to restrain him and blind him. Starfire and I will have a close encounter. Artemis produced her necessary arrow and said, right. M'gann link us up along with Starfire. On it. Link proved it. A very practical skill, Starfire remarked. Go, young justice. Red versus Robin, Raven, and Kid Flash. It was difficult for Robin and Raven's eyes to follow the Red Rage Monger's rapid flight, which was equal to Kid Flash's speed. Come on Ugly, I thought you'd be faster than that, KF chided. We got it set up. KF led him here. All correct. Hey, Triple Ugly. Can you catch me? KF put it into overdrive and guided the Red Rage Monger to where Robin requested him to go. While Kid Flash was running, the Red Rage Monger yelled angrily and followed, closing in on him. Now, Red Rage Monger stopped after he went through a few more trees and landed dead center of a Robin trap, which consisted of 4 to 5 dozen bomb discs. His trip through the shield left him too confused to put up a shield. KF yelled. Just as KF pasted 2 trees and a thick black shield appeared, the Rage Monger had no chance to slow down and hit it with full force. The black shield shattered, but it did its job. Boom. Green versus Megan, Batgirl, and Aqualad. Batgirl had assessed the situation and was working on the endgame when the Rage Monger made 2 sword constructs and began attacking Megan. Megan turned invisible and slipped away, and Aqualad blocked him with his water shield. Megan was using her strength to fight the Green Rage Monger on equal ground, while Aqualad was helping with ranged water and electric attacks. Aqualad. You got it. When Aqualad used his water to raise the Rage Monger high in the air, Megan was waiting and slammed it with all of her strength using her interlocked fists. The Rage Monger hit the ground hard and was covered in a slug of some kind, and he stared at the slug in confusion. She threw another tiny pellet, which covered the Rage Monger in cement when it hit him, and said, "In case you're wondering, that's not mud." Big Blue versus Naruto, Starfire, and Artemis. Starfire and Naruto were facing off against the largest of the 3 Rage Mongers. Both were fully armored, but Artemis's exploding arrows only made it even more enraged. It continued to fire light blasts at Artemis while being shielded by Naruto's shield constructions. "Is it prepared yet?" Naruto was asked by Artemis. "Nearly. Run." When Artemis did, a blade-like structure swept across her head. Starfire skillfully sidestepped the awkward attack as she launched her star bolts at the Rage Monger, repeatedly striking it before it shifted its focus to her and used a hammer construct to smash her. "Now Starfire." Naruto screamed. Starfire created a Morning Star construct with her green star energy inside it, slammed it into the Rage Monger, and the green energy exploded into the Rage Monger, sending him flying, right into Artemis's waiting crosshairs and into Naruto's waiting hammer construct. She fired her arrow into the wet sand, and it landed close to the Rage Monger, exploding and encasing the Rage Monger in ice. Near Naruto and her group, the teams gathered their prisoners. "So, is there a reason these guys want to crush us?" did Batgirl ask. "They want to eradicate all love from the cosmos." Starfire informed them that these Red Lanterns had recently destroyed the homeworld of the star Sapphire. "How would you know, too?" Robin inquired. Kid Flash would have, but he was too preoccupied staring at Naruto and Starfire. Perhaps drooling would be a more accurate description. "Robin, she is correct." Looking at her newly acquired star sapphire ring, Naruto remarked, "These ones chased the princess of that world here, and her ring, after the Red Lanterns destroyed their world." Kid Flash managed to utter the words, "You look good in that outfit." Naruto, who didn't realize that KF was swooning over her new appearance, said, "Thank you, kid." "How do we handle them?" Naruto's and Starfire's rings beeped once more as Artemis spoke of their Rage Monger prisoners. The last thing young Justice heard before they were all knocked out was the sound of breaking glass, and Naruto had just managed to construct a shield before it was destroyed by a huge red hammer. "You have let the master down. Die now." The 3 confined Rage Mongers were yelled at by the new Red Lantern, who killed them with a swift swing of his sword construct and without regret. Red Lantern Corps members 1785, 2455, and 1015 were killed. Sector scans were conducted to find new recruits. Vice, the new monster, turned to Naruto. "Now, you pass away." She put up a shield to block Vice's charge, but it gave way under the force of Vice's hammer, sending her flying towards the sandy ground and landing hard. She coughed up some sand that got in her mouth, then looked back at Vice, who was heading straight for her, before jumping into the air and floating. "Hey Banana Head. Can you catch me?" She took off, and sure enough, Vice, not liking the Banana Head remark, took off after her. Using her new abilities, Naruto flew as fast as she could, but Vice was right behind her, chasing her down. She needed a place where she and Vice could fight without anyone getting caught in the crossfire, so she led Vice to the opposite side of the island in the hopes that Carol would find her and assist her, or at least her friends. However, she was unaware that Carol was watching from a distance as her newest member faced off against one of the strongest Red Lanterns. On the opposite side of the island, Vice had caught up to Naruto and tackled her, using his overwhelming strength, but she kicked him off her with light construct boots. She then made her shield and gunblade again and faced Vice, who didn't give her a chance to think before charging her with a large spiked hammer. When she raised her shield, it broke on contact, so she reformed it, aimed it at Vice, and fired it. Vice simply put up a shield, which broke but held. Coral watched in awe and hope from a distance, fascinated by the strength of her newest core member and hopeful that she would defeat Vice. Her power was waning in the face of Vice's rage and his power, but her dizzy mind managed to get up and see her mentor in the Star Sapphire Arts not far away. Vice continued to hammer Naruko with his blade constructs, and as soon as she would block with her shields, Vice's swords would shatter them. Once again, breaking glass was heard as Vice's swung shattered yet another shield that Naruko had made, and the force sent her flying into tree after tree and then a few rocks. Focus on the things you love most in this world, whether they are people, places, or things, such as your mother, your significant other, your friends, the team, or the people you want to protect. Love is the strongest yet the hardest to understand. However, its strength lies in its simple function of its emotion. Love is all around us and can take many different forms. Magan's face flashed before Naruko's eyes, and for some reason, which she still doesn't understand, her strength returned and her power increased. Vice then slammed down on her with another two-handed axe construct, and she once again created her shield and gunblade, but this time, her creations held up against Vice's fury. What? Vice appeared perplexed, as evidenced by the expression on his banana head face. Now for round 3, you monkey treat. Naruko pushed him away from her. Naruko made a morning star construct and struck him again, sending him flying into the air and directly into the armored fist constructs of Starfire. She screamed at him and pushed him away from her, sending him into a few trees before she was on him again. She swiftly cut him across his body with her gunblade construct, causing his lava-like blood to fall on the ground, killing numerous plants. And for interfering with mate Naruko's passionate moment and mine, although he would not be allowed to rest just yet, she slammed her armored fists into Vice, sending him down to the ground like a red star of fire and rage. Naruko was waiting for him, and when Vice landed on her shield construct, it did not shatter, but he was thrown, ungracefully, onto the ground when he went nighty-night, and Naruko fell to one knee. Floating down to Naruko, Starfire said, "Are you okay, mate Naruko?" Young Justice was already waking up when Naruko made a hand construct to pick up Vice, and they floated to where her friends were. "Yeah, Starfire, I'm alright." "Magan, Artemis, you two alright?" She urged the first two to stand up. Artemis rubbed her head and said, "Yeah, but my head's killing me." She heard Magan say, "I'm alright." After giving them both a happy hug, Naruko watched Raven and Batgirl rise. "Raven, Batgirl." She flew to give them a hug as well, saying, "I'm glad to see you unharmed." "Yeah, I'm good," Batgirl said, a little uncomfortable with the embrace from Naruko, who seemed to be in an overly affectionate mood. Even more awkwardly, Raven said, "Yeah, perfectly alright, you can quit now," in reference to the hug. "Hey, where's our hug?" the boys said as they stood up. Kid Flash smiled as he asked. With a fox-like smile, Naruko floated over to them and, one by one, gave them a quick peck on the cheek. Raven and Batgirl noticed this from a distance and said, "Well, at least she didn't do that to us." Batgirl simply nodded. "Sweet." Kid Flash whispered to Robin, "Having girls on the team is the biggest perk of this gig." Aqualad, Kid Flash, and Robin all flushed. Aqualad was silent as Robin remarked, "I'm so overwhelmed right now." "Mate Naruko," Starfire said with a very mischievous smile, raising many eyebrows, "I'm afraid I must take my leave." However, she hovered over Naruko and kissed her deeply and for a long time, accompanied by Starfire's groping of her ass and moaning. Naruko was in deer in headlights mode, and simply accepted it. "Until we meet again, mate Naruko," Starfire said as she flew up and away from the group. Naruko glanced at the retreating form of Starfire, then at the team. Raven and Batgirl had a somewhat submissive expression. Magan and Artemis were both looking envious. Aqualad was flushed and turned away. Robin's nose was bleeding, and Kid Flash, with the broadest smile on his face, he was unconscious. It was the best day ever. Naruko reddened. "Oh, mature." She lost her temper. The Justice League arrived shortly after, and Vice was taken to Oa to be imprisoned. Unknown place. "So, what was her performance?" A strong female voice questioned Coral. "Better than anticipated." Coral replied, "She is still learning, but she is aware of what she needs to know about the Star Sapphire ways for the time being." "All right, but what about Starfire?" Starfire knelt down and said, "I am here, my lady." "All right, how far?" The voice posed a mysterious question. "We were interrupted before. Who do they say it here? We went all the way," Starfire replied. "Unfortunately. However, the love seed has been sown. You'll have another opportunity." "Yes, you were correct." Starfire chuckled, "She is my mate's destiny to be my lady." "Slutfire, get out of here. Naruko is mine." said a different, well-known voice. Furthermore, I refuse to let her go to an alien slut like you. Jade or Cheshire emerged from the shadows and shared her thoughts. And what do you have to offer that I don't? My kind was designed to do 3 things. Love, sex, and war. Your kind wasn't. She could make love to me and have a child if she wanted to. Starfire smirked at Cheshire, saying, you are weak and frail. Why did you give me insulin, little star bitch? Enough. I don't care which of you my baby girl chooses to spend the rest of her life with, the voice said, quickly cutting them off. All that matters to me is that she chooses one of my picks. Nothing else matters until then, and you won't stop any of my chosen people from being with Naruto, isn't that clear? She inquired in a tone that these girls understood to be hurt if the desired response was not given. They both said, yes ma'am, at the same time, but they gave each other a furious look. Kid Flash was thrilled that it was a mission with the JLA, and when the team arrived in the living room, they found Black Canary and Red Tornado waiting for them. For some reason, the odd couple said that it was crucial that the entire team gather. All right, ladies, I have some special training for you. Black Canary grinned as the girls trailed behind her, and Naruto turned back to Kid Flash. Boys, stay here while Red Tornado has your training at hand. Oh no, KF complained, more training. Although she could understand his perspective, Naruto initially squinted her eyes. Kid Flash. Never pass up the opportunity to receive additional instruction from our mentors. They spend their time teaching us what they learned the hard way and what was taught to them so that we can build on it and pass it on to the next generation, she said to him. Red Tornado remarked, very wise for such a young human. I wish I was, Naruto said, glancing down at the comment. Magan and Aqualad could understand her a little, but they know who they are, while Naruto doesn't. Black Carney and the rest of the team heard her, but they didn't understand why she said such a thing. Only Rachel, who is half human and half demon, could understand what Naruto meant. The 5 girls sat down at a table, wondering what Black Carney had planned, and Black Carney led them to another room that was a little bigger than the living room. All right, then. We are going to discuss a challenging topic today. No. This is inhuman. Stop it, Kid Flash and Robin's cries were heard by the girls. Well, is Red Tornado torturing them? Magan inquired. No, the boys are acting like boys, and they're immature boys. However, it appears that they have discovered what they are studying today. Black Carney grinned. Just after the girl left a short while ago. All right, let's get started. RT instructed them to take a seat in the 3 chairs in front of them, but as soon as they did, metal straps bound their arms and legs. Hey, according to my calculations, once you know what we're going to learn today, there is a 99.9% chance that Aqualad would attempt to flee, but a 100% chance that Kid Flash and Robin would try to do so if given the chance. But let me start by pointing out that those were created by Batman, and they are impervious to Robin's tools and suppress your abilities. After pressing a button, RT said, we will be watching a movie today as we will be learning an important subject for young boys and girls. Robin and Kid Flash both froze, feeling a sinking sensation, which was confirmed when the movie screen displayed the title, Your Body and You. No. Kid Flash screamed as he tried to get away. This is inhuman. Stop it, Robin screamed, failing to get his tools to react to him. Yes. I was selected because I am not human. Additionally, I've been told to enjoy the movie. I should also take this time to say that the film is in black and white, RT said. No. While Aqualad accepted his fate, Robin and Kid Flash both screamed in agony. All right, ladies. We're going to learn about sex. The room darkened and the cave's lighting came on for some reason, and Artemis and Batgirl palmed their heads, but Magan didn't know why. Rachel didn't care, and Naruto already knew this stuff, but she wondered why the boys weren't handling it so well. She put on some square glasses to make herself appear as intelligent as she is, and Black Canary displayed a hologram of the female body before saying, now then, let's begin. After several hours. All right. Have any inquiries? Black Canary inquired. Magan was taking notes and asking questions, much to Black Canary's delight, while Naruto wasn't taking notes because she already knew this material. Artemis and Batgirl were looking bored and resting their heads on their hands. Rachel was silently meditating in an attempt to avoid this lecture but failing. Yes, Megan. What caused the boys to stop screaming? Innocently, she inquired. Batgirl, Artemis, and Black Canary all grinned. Well, boys will be boys, and immature boys at that. They don't excel at this subject like girls do. Let's say, Megan. I don't know why they stopped screaming, she said with a smile. Oh, okay. Are you done asking questions? Black Canary handed each girl a paper, saying, good, let's see what you've learned. All of the girls passed with flying colors, and it wasn't a multiple choice test either. All right, girls, good job, you may all go. Apart from Naruto, though, the group departed. Rachel returned to her room, Batgirl went to the main hall, and Megan and Artemis went to check on the boys but were stopped by RT, who informed them that the boys hadn't finished their lesson. Artemis smirked, and the girls then went to the gym. Black Canary, did I get something wrong? Naruto inquired. Oh, no, nothing like that. You simply require some other kind of training in your role as team leader. This kind of training is given to many people like you in order to safeguard your team. Well, why don't we make this training mandatory for everyone? She inquired. Well, only heroines can benefit from this kind of training, and you're old enough to do it. Batgirl has already completed it, and Artemis and Megan will do it later. Furthermore, Rachel is not yet in need of this training. That leaves you. Please follow me, said Black Canary. Naruto bowed and followed Black Canary into the training room, which then locked. Oh, okay. Okay. Computer, training forest area. Before long, the area around them was covered in a thick forest. Okay. Naruto. Wonder Babe. Canary saw the sad expression in Naruto's eyes. Don't like the name? Making an effort to alter it. I wish that moron of a doctor had come up with a different moniker. We can't pick our names, but you can make your name. Naruto's eyebrows went up. I never considered it that way. Many thanks, Black Canary. Don't worry, sweetie. Alright, the concept for today's training is straightforward. Black Canary throws Naruto a letter and says, it contains a straightforward message for you, but you can't open it until the training is over. Please keep me from getting this at all costs. Okay. Wonder Babe was informed by Black Canary. You got it. Both Wonder Babe and Black Canary assumed their positions. Naruto placed the letter in her uniform and prepared for the training, and then the two young ladies charged at each other. Black Canary used her experience and skill to try to overcome Wonder Babe's overwhelming skill and power, and after a brief 30-second period, she grabbed Wonder Babe's arm and twisted her around before doing something surprisingly unexpected. She rubbed Wonder Babe's breasts, and Wonder Babe squeaked. What the hell? Black Canary was now a few meters away when she yelled at him. Wonder Babe, embarrassed by the recent events involving her and Black Canary, was shown the letter in her hand by Black Canary. The goal of this training is to resist seduction, Black Canary explained. Numerous heroes and heroines have been attracted to the opposing side. We are now training the younger generation, beginning with leaders like you. The first part of this two-part training is simply how to avoid being seduced in combat. Wonder Babe thought of Cheshire just now, but Black Canary was unaware of it. Now, let's get back to work. Villains will try to fool you with a lot of things, so don't believe anything they say. Are you prepared? Returning to her combat stance, she asked. Yes, I won't lose this time. The training proved to be successful, and Wonder Babe was able to continue training without being distracted by Black Canary's hands-on training. Despite the numerous breast gropings, back-end sensations, and crotch caresses, she was able to keep the letter, which had a straightforward message, even though both of them continued to train for hours on end. Wonder Babe learned that Black Canary has soft hands, and Black Canary became very familiar with Wonder Babe's measurements. I'm proud of you and your training progress, and I'll train you myself when I have some free time. Love your mother. Black Canary nodded and walked away after Naruto hugged the letter and said, thanks Black Canary. Naruto thought about the training she had received from Black Canary for a long time, wondering if she had already been seduced by Cheshire. After all, in exchange for letting her go and oral sex, she had received information about her ancient parents, but not much more than what she had done in her age, which seems incomprehensible. How can someone be older than the Guardians of Oa? Even she knew how old they are. The Champers of Light. What is the Wonder Babe's plan? Should she continue to be with those children? L.5 was asked. L.0 informed them, yes, her training isn't done with them yet. What kind of training is that? L.1 was asked. A simple yet extremely important lesson, the lesson of loss. Following L0's departure, every member of the Light departed. L.0, also known as the Ancient Parent, was in front of Cheshire and Starfire. How has your information gathering gone, then? She questioned Cheshire. Great, I've told Naruto what you've told me to tell her. Soon, I'll be able to go just a little further in our little talks. Cheshire grinned. Starfire wanted to kill Cheshire with her star bolts, but the Ancient One's power saved her life. It's unnecessary for you to be angry with Cheshire, Starfire said. The Ancient One grinned as she gazed at a picture of Wonder Babe in full uniform. Oh my dear daughter, you're almost ready to be brought into the fold. She stroked the image check and said, Once my daughter learns her lesson, once she does, she will willingly come to your arms and mine. Justice Mount. The mission was successful, but Wonder Babe and the rest of Young Justice returned from Gotham with a few scars. They defeated Clay Face, but her team suffered some serious injuries, including McGann, Batgirl, Robin, Aqualad, and herself. She took more damage than most because she, as some would say, tanked the boss by standing in the way of most of Clay Face's attacks. Batman approached Wonder Babe and said, "I am well aware of my mistakes, Batman. The team's performance was good, yet my own was not." Batman remained expressionless as usual. Identifying the issue is the first step. The second is to address the issue. Batman informed her, "How is up to you? You can divide your time, but not your thoughts. With the Amazons on the Mysteria, you might feel more at home than here. You have to determine where, and then make a decision. Diana will come to get you in about an hour." Batman told her, "The team will have some downtime, so use this time to think where you belong." Batman then left the cave. Naruto and the other went to get ready. Artemis, Kid Flash, and Robin were heading home, while Aqualad went to the Atlantis. After that, it was just Raven, Megan, and herself. She glanced at the other two cave dwellers and wondered if her mother would let the other two girls accompany them. An hour later, Diana emerged from the Zeta tube. "Mom." Naruto ran and gave Diana a hug. "Ah, Naruto. I apologize for being absent lately," Diana told her daughter. "I understand, it's okay. We've been busy too." Naruto grinned, then scowled as she felt McGann and Rachel. "Can we bring McGann and Rachel with us today, Mother? McGann's uncle will not be able to visit Rachel because she has no family." Diana grinned. "Of course, dear. Go tell them to get ready." "Thanks, Mom." Naruto gave her another hug before rushing to fetch her other two friends. Rachel Roth, also known as Raven, was the first to leave. As usual, the girl was levitating and meditating in her room. Until her door was knocked on. She said, "Go away," in her typical low-pitched monologue. When the door opened, Naruto was acting more socially adept than Rachel. Thus, she caught her in midair and pulled her from her room. "No chance, Rachel. You're coming to spend the day with my mom and me and McGann, and you're going to smile," said Naruto to her. "Wop, wop," she purportedly exclaimed. Naruto located and knocked on McGann's room down the hall while still towing an irritated Rachel. "McGann, it's me. Naruto. Can I come in?" she demanded. Both girls heard shuffling as McGann said, "Just a moment." From her room. McGann said, "Okay," to them. While still dragging Rachel, Naruto entered. "How are you, Naruto? Why are you dragging Raven around?" As expected, she said, "I've been kidnapped. Rachel is just being no fun right now, but I'll change that. Anyway, I was wondering if you would come with me, my mom and Rachel, on our outing today," replied Naruto. "Really? With you and Wonder Woman, and Raven?" "Yep. Yes." McGann then felt ashamed. Embarrassed, McGann said, "Thank you, I'm honored." "All right. We'll be leaving soon. Mom's waiting in the main archway and I'll meet you there. Once I give Rachel what do humans call it?" McGann said, "A makeover." Rachel's gaze expanded. A disturbing vision of herself being Narutoized then occurred to her. Some of them featured Naruto's favorite outfit. There was a lot of orange. Rachel would have fought, but it would have been in vain. "Yes, exactly. Anyway, get ready. We'll be ready soon enough, right, Rachel?" Naruto responded. "Yippee," said Rachel. Before they left for their brief excursion, Diana waited for her daughter and the other girls back in the main room. "Ready, Mom?" Diana glanced at her two friends and her daughter. Naruto wore black pants and an orange shirt. Her hair fell loose. Rachel was dressed in a raven patterned dark blue sleeveless shirt. Rachel was relieved to see that she was wearing blue jeans and that her mid-drift showed off her toned stomach. Megan, also known as McGann, was greedy and wore a knee-length red dress and a green shirt. Diana said, "All right, girls. Ready to go?" "Yup." Naruto replied on behalf of the trio. The four then departed for Diana's preferred city, Washington, D.C., via the Zeta tube. Diana smiled and said, "All right, girls, there's a fair in town today. I thought that you three might want to enjoy yourselves today." Around noon, the group arrived at the fair. Megan and Naruto exclaimed, "Wow," while Rachel was less enthusiastic. "Come on," Naruto called out to the other girls, and Diana trailed closely behind. The first attraction Naruto dragged them to was Ghost Rider, a roller coaster. Among the world's fastest roller coasters. While Rachel was just holding on for dear life, Diana was simply savoring the smiles that Megan and Naruto were giving. and Megan and Naruko were having a blast. The group then went to lunch, where they had cotton candy and a cheeseburger that Megan and Naruko thought was excellent. The horror house came next, and it was amusing to watch other people scream uncontrollably at how ridiculous everything was. They proceeded to a ring toss game, which was Naruko's favorite part. Megan pointed at a plush fox and exclaimed, "Oh Naruko, look at that, it's so cute." Naruko said, "You're right, hey Rachel, see anything you like?" But Rachel just stared at a stuffed dragon without responding. The owner of the ring toss game asked, "Would you like to play, little lady?" Although the smile caused some anxiety in all of the girls, nothing was done about it. He grinned and gave Naruko 3 rings, saying, "I'll even give you the first game free." Naruko smiled and accepted the rings, saying, "Thank you sir." Diana squinted at the guy who had just deceived her daughter and her friends, but she would handle him at a later time. After obtaining the rings, Naruko prepared to toss them. First, she attempted to get Megan the stuffed fox. Although she tossed the rings, they failed to encircle the prize box. Megan whimpered, "Ah, sorry little lady. Want to try again?" "Only $1, he replied. Naruko said, "Can we mom, please?" Diana had the option to refuse her young daughter, even though she didn't want to. Diana gave the man a 5 and said, "Sure dear. Why you try a few times?" As the man gave her the rings once more, Naruko exclaimed, "Thanks mom. You're the best." This time, Naruko made an unsuccessful attempt to capture the dragon. The fox, on the other hand, failed. After she made numerous attempts, Naruko and the girls started to suspect that the game was rigged. "He is defrauding us over their link," Megan said. "I had that thought. He offers a free game, but people keep paying for another chance, and most people don't care about $1, Rachel said. "I have an idea. Do you want to assist?" Naruko questioned them. "Yes. What must we accomplish?" Megan inquired. Naruko instructed them to just make sure that the ring gets around the prize. The man said, "Unless you pay another $1, little lady, this is your last chance." As Naruko confidently stated, "That's okay. I got a good feeling about this one." After receiving the 3 rings, Naruko was prepared to defraud the person. It avoided the box required to win the stuffed fox when she threw the first one for it. Naruko threw another one for the dragon after the man was shocked that it had happened. Using Rachel's magic to shirk the box so the ring could hook it and Megan's telepathy to guide it, she also got that one. One final prize, a plush phoenix for herself, was thrown by Naruko. The scammer exclaimed, great job," in surprise. He gave the girls their prizes. Hugging her new stuffed fox, Megan exclaimed, "Thank you Naruko." Rachel was less happy about it. "Yes, thank you for a fluffy stuffed toy," she said. It was not yet the end of the day. They then proceeded to the Hall of Mirrors, which they traversed with ease, laughing occasionally as they saw people dash into the mirrors. While Rachel suffered the most and nearly threw up her lunch, Diana watched and laughed as they went on the teacup spin ride and became lightheaded. Fortunately, the spin ride was over before they went to one of the food stands for dinner. After that, Megan and Naruko had a great time bumping into each other in the bumper cars. Nevertheless, the girls rode the Ferris wheel to cap off their day at the fair as it was coming to an end. The carriages were all heart-shaped, but none of the girls noticed. They all peacefully observed the nighttime fair and all of its lights, something they've never had before. They took 4 pictures together in a photo booth as their final activity. The first one showed Megan and Naruko cuddling up to Rachel, who was irritated. In the second, Megan and Naruko gave Rachel bunny ears, which only made her angrier. The third showed Megan laughing in the back while Naruko used her pointer fingers to make Rachel smile during her month. The final image showed Diana and Naruko embracing and grinning at one another. Diana was taking the girl back to the cave via the Zeta tube as the day was coming to an end. Naruko said, "Thanks mom, for taking us out today." Then Megan said politely, "Yeah, thanks again Miss Prince." Rachel responded in a typical manner, "Yes, thank you for the day." Diana grinned. "It was my pleasure to do this, girls. Maybe someday maybe we can do this again. Maybe bring Artemis and Batgirl along," Diana stated to them. With a smile, Naruko said, "I'd like that." After following Megan and Rachel into the Zeta tube that led to the cave, Naruko said, "I'll see you around mom." Cave Naruko watched as Megan and Rachel made their way to the other members of Young Justice back at Mount Justice. Batman was in front of them, probably on another team mission. Knowing she understood the meaning of the question, he asked, "Are you here?" Naruko joined the group and said, "Yes, I'm here, all of me." Batman began, "Good, on to your next assignment. You'll be going too." The debriefing was only partially heard by Naruko. She pondered what she might encounter today from the rest of the world. Wonder Babe appeared out of a bad dream and sprang up like a lightning bolt. She glanced around. She was wearing royal gold nightgowns, a lovely bed, and some elegantly drawn curtains. What? Huh? Oh, good Princess Naruko, you're awake. Naruko turned to see Ruma, who worked as a maid in the castle for her grandmother. Naruko said, Ruma, what am I doing here? You don't remember? Then again, you and your friends did crash land here. Friends? She inquired before having a flashback. All she could recall from her dispatcher, Batman, was, no radio contact. She said, my team, my friends, are they all right? Yes, they are. They all woke up yesterday. You weren't supposed to wake up for at least another 2 days. Bliss to the goddesses. I'll tell your mother Princess Diana and the Queen right away. Her actions caused Naruko to furrow her brow, but she dismissed it. She rose and changed into her heroine's uniform. Robin, Aqualad, Kid Flash, Raven, Batgirl, Megan, and Artemis were all there when she left. The Amazon Artemis was glaring at Artemis, but Artemis was glaring back at Artemis. The Queen of the Amazons and Naruko's grandmother greeted her with open arms, anticipating an embrace, and Naruko obliged, saying, Naruko, my dear granddaughter, you've awakened. Naruko grinned and said, it's good to be home, my queen. The queen grinned back at Naruko and said, it is great that you are home, my dear. The queen turned to her team and said, I'm glad that you're home and safe from the outside world. She grinned at them and said, and your friends are welcome as well. Being at home and with her friends made Naruko happy. Naruko said, Grandmother, where is mother? She is here as well. Waiting for you to wake up, she is with our sisters helping them train. She is? Inquired Naruko. What about the mainland? The Amazons cheered and went off to get ready when the queen said, let's not worry about that at this moment. Allow us to celebrate your return. Tonight we shall have a grand feast and all of your friends will be our guest of honor. Naruko, why don't you take your friends out on a tour of our island? I'm sure that they will enjoy it very much. The monarch grinned. Naruko grinned. Naruko dragged them off to see the island, saying, yeah, good idea my queen. This way guys and girls. You'll love this. They were on a tour with Naruko. Alright, this is the Colosseum, where the Amazons hold their tournaments. I've fought in these a few times. Did you win? Inquired Megan. Nope, not once. On Amazon, someone wrote, but the princess came close. Naruko grinned and said, Jura, it's been a while. Jura told her, that it has my princess. I hear your friends will are guests of honor tonight. It's an honor to meet the princess's fellow warriors. Jura made a bow to them. Kid Flash whispered to Robin, wow. I love this place, total dream come true. Robin nodded. Aqualad simply hummed to himself. Artemis and Batgirl mostly kept to themselves, observing their surroundings. Well, we need to go. Lots of an island to see, especially the Eternal Falls. Oh, you're taking them there. What a great idea. I hope you have a wonderful time, princess. Jura grinned. They were led by Naruko to other areas of the island. The island's forge, where all of the weapons are made. Is Luia here? Replied Naruko. The person who appeared to be Luia's apprentice said, no, she left this morning to get more material. Naruko grinned and said, oh, okay. Tell her that I stopped by please. She went to work after saying, of course. Naruko took them on a tour of various locations, including the orchards her sisters use to make wine. The metals and diamonds they extract. Naturally, she then led them to the summit of the mountain, which provided a view of the island and the city. This is my favorite place on the whole island. You can see everything. And observed all of their actions. They saw the entire Amazon's home island, including the Colosseum, glistening pools, and endless waterfalls. Even though the moon was full and helped light the way, they were all in awe of what they saw. Megan did see Naruko frowning, though. She said, Naruko? What's the matter? To her friend. Naruko led the way and said to her friends, oh nothing's wrong Megan. Come on, the party should be ready for us by now. It's something let me tell you. Naruko got up the following morning to start her typical day. Even if she and her Amazon sisters were still at home. While everyone else was dining with each other as guests at the palace, she was dining with her mother and grandmother. But Naruko had to pose a query. Mother, when will we return to the mainland? She inquired. Before Diana spoke, Hippolyta and Wonder Woman exchanged glances. We won't be returning to the mainland, Naruko. What? Why? She had questioned. What about my friends? They can't stay here. They have family on the mainland. Then Hippolyta spoke. Sweetie, there is no mainland to return to. Do you not remember your last mission? She inquired. In a flashback, Naruto heard Batman declare that radio silence was their mission. All I remember was Batman telling us that it will be radio silence on the mission. That's all, she stated to them. Diana gave a nod. Yes, on that mission that you and your team were on, you were trying to prevent man from destroying themselves. But the mission failed, and the world of man destroyed themselves. You managed to bring your team here before you passed out. Your team is safe here and the gods protect us. The mainland is lost, Diana stated to her daughter. But not everyone could be dead, some might still be. They are all dead. The mainland is lost. We will stay here where it is safe. No need to risk ourselves or our sisters for a lost cause. Naruto gasped, but remained silent, stood up, and left. She had to locate the other members of her team. Right now, home just didn't feel right. They would be difficult to locate here, when she attempted to sense her teammates and friends using her abilities. But despite her best efforts, her abilities told her that they were only a few feet away. Furthermore, she is unable to sense anyone else. At least that person isn't an Amazon. She is unable to sense the vitality of her mother or those around her. On top of her friends, there were only a few weak energy signatures. She squinted. She knew they were all in danger and she needed to find them. She first visited the pond she had shown the group the day before as she considered potential destinations. Raven had mentioned that she found the pond to be soothing. She was pleased but also disappointed that it was a fake thing. As Naruto had anticipated, she discovered Raven meditating. Raven, we need to talk, now. Naruto saw Raven open one eye. About? She inquired. She repeated, about this place, have you seen the others? No, I haven't seen them, and what is it about this place that we need to talk about? As she explained to the magical empath, this place isn't real, it's a fake. I know, was her response. You knew? Was Naruto's bewildering question. She had a suspicion but wasn't certain until this morning, or this fictitious morning. Yes, I figured it out when I was near this pond the other day, Raven replied to her. Wonder Babe asked Raven, you knew? Why didn't you say anything, and how did you know when you were near this pond? You needed to figure it out for yourself. It wouldn't have helped if I had told you. As for this pond, it gives off an aura that I am familiar with somewhere else. No other place could have possibly had this claiming aura, Raven clarified. Naruto gave a nod. Alright, however, we still need to find the others. We are all in danger here. I can't seem to find them with my powers. They tell me that they are a few feet from me and you're the only one nearby, Raven was told by Wonder Babe. I see. When I use my own powers to find the group, I too feel as if they are a few feet away, Raven replied. That means that when we are moving, we are not really moving. We're asleep, maybe in a mind, or my mind most likely, as we are on Amazon Island. That makes sense. Where would we find the others? Raven responded. We need to think like them. Batgirl and Artemis most likely at the training yard, as they love to train on their free time. As for Aqualad at the docks or the beach because he feels at ease near water, Naruto speculated. Raven inquired, and what about Megan, Kid Flash, and Robin? Megan likes to cook, so she's most likely in the kitchen or dining hall area. As for the other boys, she grinned at herself. How about the bath hall? Raven inquired. Got it in one. I'll get Artemis, Batgirl, and the boys. You get Aqualad and Megan. I can't wait to see the boys' face when I bust them. They're lucky we're not in the real thing. Naruto took off. Raven grinned. Raven disappeared through a dark portal, saying, better you than me. Raven quickly showed up at the docks, floating above them anyhow. This would be the ideal place for her to begin her search for Aqualad. She was searching for a way to get to Aqualad with Raven. Using her flight ability, she searched the docks but was unable to locate him. She had thought about asking around, but she decided against it because it might cause suspicion in this delusion. After checking the beach, she discovered Aqualad standing on some rocks with a view of the ocean. Raven said, you look confused. Aqualad was perplexed by the statement. It's strange. I try to talk to the sea life here and yet I hear nothing back. He would be aware if they didn't want to speak with him, but they simply don't. I would say that is strange, but I know little about your powers, Raven replied. I know. But I should be able to hear them speak amongst themselves at least. However, I hear nothing, and the water here, it doesn't feel right. Aqualad made the point. All sea water feels the same to me. Maybe, but to my people all waters are different. Yet this water around this island feels off. Aqualad gave her a startled and perplexed look and asked, what if I told you it is not real? Raven told the young man as if it were commonplace. Me and Wonder Babe have discussed it and came to the same conclusion, that this world is a fake. We are asleep and in her mind, seeing as we are on the Amazon island, or at least a mock-up of it. I'm hoping not to be. She gave him a nod when he asked, You truly believe so? If that is the case, we are all in danger. No one does this without good reason. Aqualad nodded and departed with Raven through a shadowy portal, saying, agreed. Now we need to get Magan. Wonder Babe is getting the others. She went to the training ground first with Wonder Babe. Amazons were observing Artemis and Batgirl as they trained hand in hand. Artemis and Batgirl were indeed present. Naruko had also observed them in the real world. With the exception of herself, Batgirl would always prevail over the majority of them, but it would always be close. In addition to her forced training, she possessed super strength. Artemis was no slouch, though, and she was getting closer to defeating Batgirl. The conclusion of this brief match is indicated by Batgirl sweeping Artemis and putting her fist in front of Artemis' head. As Batgirl helped Artemis up, Donna Troy approached the two of them after everyone had clapped their hands. Donna praised their training, saying, "That was excellent. No surprise seeing as you trained with Batman and our sister Naruko." Batgirl remarked, "We go at it every day like this." Artemis informed her, "Yeah, I'll get you next time. And you said that the last time." Naruko approached the two girls and said, "And the time before that. But you'll get there someday, Artemis." Donna said, "Ah, sister, might I trouble you with a spar?" She narrowed her eyes slightly, but no one noticed. When Naruko noticed that the girls were ignoring Donna's insistence, she said, "I'm sorry, sister, but things of the greatest importance must be taken care of first. And I need my team all together to do so. So Batgirl, Artemis, follow me if you will." Batgirl spoke up a short distance away from the group. Batgirl said, "What's up? You look troubled by something." Artemis also took notice. "I have something to tell you girls. This place that we are in, it's not real." "What?" Artemis exclaimed, looking shocked because, as the newest member of this type of life, she had never experienced anything like this. She had never seen most of it before. "This place is not real. We're in my mind, that is my best guess. Someone has used my memories to recreate this place in hopes to trap us here," Naruko clarified. Not pleased, Artemis exclaimed, "We're where?" Naruko put her arms around both girls and left them with little effort, saying, "My guess is my mind. We have to get the boys and find a way to leave before whoever is doing this finds out what we're up to. Raven is getting Magan and Aqualad. We need to get the boys and get out of here." A sizable group of Amazons, covered in flour, greeted Raven and Aqualad as they entered the spacious mess hall where the Amazons who prepare the food work. Additionally, they gave Magan, who was also covered in flour, irritated looks that were neither mean nor angry. Raven would have laughed if she had been able to. Aqualad would laugh if he didn't believe it would be impolite. When the head chief looked at Magan, she had a drowsy expression. Aqualad caught her eye and said, "Magan," he informed her, "Wonder Babe has called a meeting." Magan whimpered a little, "But I'm so close to getting it right." One of the Amazons covered in flour remarked, "That's what you said the last time." The head chief remarked, "Take some time, Magan. We need to clean up anyway." Revan grabbed Magan and protested about leaving, saying, "Perfect. Then we shall leave you be. It is important that we meet up with Naruko." She then disappeared with Aqualad and waited for Naruko and the others. Finding Kid Flash and Robin didn't take long. Even if it weren't true, it wouldn't do to have half of your female team and the majority of your male team terrified of each other, so she had instructed Batgirl and Artemis to wait away from the boys. When Naruko heard some murmurs, it was simple to identify that they were coming from the boys, who were at the wood fence with the little peephole to watch the Amazons taking a bath in the bathhouse. "Hey, move over, I can't see," Robin said. "I can't see either, kid, it's too misty." Naruko chose to look as well, bending to their level. It was amusing that these boys were attempting to peek, but it was nothing new to her. "You know," the boys nearly screamed and lashed out. "If you're caught, the girls will skin you alive." Kid Flash and Robin turned slowly around. Their team leader was indeed at their back. Furthermore, the person they were currently spying on was the woman's sister. "Well, you see. We were kind of," Kid Flash was trying to come up with a solution to these problems. They both appeared relieved as they said, "At the very least, I'm not going to pound you into the ground." They are. Inexplicably, the wood fence behind them had been replaced by a dozen or so irate Amazons who were prepared to inflict pain. Naruko pulled them out to meet Batgirl and Artemis after they had been battered into the ground for a few minutes. The group was informed of the situation in the clearing by the pound. Robin said, "So we're in your mind?" "Yes, that is the theory of me and Raven. We are in a projection of Amazon Island, so it is logical to believe that we are in my mind. Other clues that I have uncovered is that when I use my powers to sense life energy, I feel all of you a few feet away from me, not miles that you should have been. Other things such as I know every Amazon here." Naruto provided a brief overview of their issue and the issues they were facing. Kid Flash said, "What's wrong with that?" Aqualad questioned him, "Because, do you know everyone in your school?" He replied, "No, it is the same here. I've seen only a few hundred of my Amazon sisters. In fact, all of the Amazons we have met are all the ones I know. Many of the things that have been said by Donna are also wrong. I've never participated in a Coliseum match nor have won any spars with my mother or sister Donna," Naruto stated to them. They all started to reflect. Artemis said to the group, "Okay, how do we get out of here?" Raven offered them the first choice, saying, "We need to find the person who set us in this place to destroy this illusion." "Not possible, we're in too deep for us to get out by finding the person who put us here," Robin replied to her. As Batgirl put it, "What about pain?" Recalling the Amazon's peeper treatment of him and Robin, Kid Flash remarked, "No, it would take physical pain and we don't feel that here." Aqualad questioned, "What other options does that leave us?" Naruto declared aloud, "We have only one other option, shatter the illusion itself." "Okay. But how?" Artemis inquired. "Simple, shatter the reality that is the illusion. I'll do that. The rest of you get somewhere high, you'll need to see it at least, and it'll help wake you up when the time comes." Naruto ascended and then disappeared. With some concern, Magan questioned, "What is she going to do?" Raven said to Gan, "My guess, shatter this world." Raven didn't allay the green girl's fears. With Naruto had located her lasso of truth, her goddess gunblade, her shield, and her weapons. This world needed to be broken, and there was only one way to do it. She started her mission to dispel the illusion after floating to the middle of the big city. She pointed her gun at a group of Amazons after grabbing the blade, which made everyone around her tense. Naruto could see the genuine fear in their eyes. Then she fired, killing a group of Amazons with a gold energy beam. Then she turned around and shot once more, killing another group of Amazons. Before any warrior Amazons arrived, Wonder Babe leveled the entire square, but they were never able to compete. Naruto began to ascend and use her goddess gunblade to obliterate other regions in the distance. She demolished the market, the armory, the bazaar, the training grounds, everything. Then she aimed the blade of her gun at the palace. Naruto. Ignoring the voice, Naruto fired, destroying the palace in a single shot. With the group when Naruto began destroying the island. Asking Robin, "What's she doing?" Raven was the first to answer, "She's trying to break the illusion over us." "How?" Raven replied, "By destroying the reality that is this world." Artemis questioned, "How does destroying this place break the illusion?" Kid Flash was ready to fight and said, "I think we should help." Raven informed them, "We can't help her." Magan said to her, "Why not? If we help her, we can get out of here faster." "I may not be a master of the mind, but Naruto and I deduced that only she could break this hold on us. To all of us this is nothing more than another place. Its destruction would mean nothing to us. However, to her this is her home. Its destruction would be devastating to her, and so her mind would all but break and the illusion will be broken. It is our theory and it is a sound one," Raven explained to them. Compared to the others, Aqualad disliked it more. "Then it seems that we are forced to watch her once again." With Naruto again, to find out who had called her name, Wonder Babe turned around. Her mother, grandmother, and sister were there. "What have you done, Naruto? Has the world of man tainted you?" They all exclaimed, "Why Naruto?" Looking at them, Naruto found it nearly unbearable to see the sadness etched on their faces. They were difficult to spot, even if they were fakes. She charged the three, knocking Wonder Woman away from the group, then used her sword to block the fake Queen's spear and her shield to block the fake Donna's punch. "To talk about it with you will be pointless. Service to say I take no enjoyment in this." She spun around and threw the other two fakes out of her way. When the fake Donna stood up, Naruto attempted to cut her in half, but she jumped back to avoid it. She started by bringing down her blade, but the fake rolled out of her way. The phony Donna flew up to shield herself from Naruto's gunblade, which opened and fired at her. Naruto was behind her and slashed the phony Donna through the heart with her gunblade. Naruto's memory was permanently marked by Donna's expression of pain and fear. Even a fake seemed so authentic. The phony queen of the Amazons screamed, "No!" and rushed toward Naruto with the intensity of a vengeful mother. In an attempt to pierce Naruto's heart, the imposter queen charged. Naruto used her anger, grief, and training. When the fake queen lowered her spear, Naruto spun around, knocked the spear away with her shield, flipped her gun handle, and stabbed the fake queen, her fake grandmother, in the heart. The fake dropped to the floor, and she stepped back. "Why?" the imposter inquired. Naruko repeatedly repeated, "You're not real, you're not real," while staring into her fictitious grandmother's eyes. "It's not real." Naruko exclaimed, "Naruko." As she saw her phony mother. "I would be really scared right now if this had been really mom," Naruko said to herself. "Why have you done this? You've destroyed your home. No, this isn't real. Look around. Look at the devastation you've caused. Have the world of men tainted you to do this should they themselves be destroyed?" asked her phony mother. Naruko charged at her fictitious mother with the intention of killing her and shattering the illusion surrounding her and her team, saying, "This isn't real. I know that to be true. Nothing you say will convince me otherwise." Since Naruko has sparred with her mother numerous times and has never prevailed, she should be aware that the fake Wonder Woman fought nothing like the real one. Even though this portrayal of her was weak, practically nothing was correct because her home island was only partially realized. After bringing down her sword and destroying the fake sword, Naruko stabbed her fake mother in the heart after destroying her fake mother's shield with her shield. The fake's mouth spat some blood onto Naruko's face. She continued to chant, "This isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real," as she gazed at her hands, which were covered in the blood of all the sisters she had killed in her imagination. "It isn't breaking, what more do I need to do?" When Naruko blinked, she saw that she was restrained and that she was staring at a white ceiling. Someone shouted, "She's waking up. Put her under again." "We're at max as it is," exclaimed another. Even though Naruko was exhausted and weak, she mustered the strength to kill all of her sisters after remembering what she had to do in her mind. The constraints that would have kept Superman in check for a while were broken by her fury. "Look out, she's breaking out." He never finished as Wonder Babe punched him in the face, knocking him out. Oh, but she wanted to do so much more. She beat down, but didn't kill, everyone in the same room with her. Her friends were not in the same room with her, however, they were in another room not too far away from her. She also noticed that she didn't have her weapons on her. She figured as much. She'd worry about them later. Her friends needed her now. She speed floated to the room that held her friends. She busted the door open and saw 4 people in scientist coats look at her. Faster than one could see, she knocked out 3 of them before any of them could blink, and she held the last one by his neck. "How do you awaken my friends?" she insisted. All the man could do was point at a large red button because he was unable to spec. "It's always the large red button." "Thank you." She went to McGann first, then slammed his face against the metal table before pressing the large red button, which caused her friends' restraints to be lifted and them to begin moving. "Oh, and it better wake them up or I'll be back for you," she said. "McGann, wake up, McGann." She roused her with a shake. "What? Wonder Babe?" A little stunned, she asked. "Yes, I am. We must wake up and wake up the others." "What took place?" she asked, unable to recall anything. "That doesn't matter, we need to get everyone up and assess the situation." "Raven, wake up," she said, saying, "She doesn't remember what we did. What I did? What we went through. It's for the best then. I hope they don't remember." In her typical tone, she said, "I'm up. Okay, we need to get the others." The girls then got the rest of the team moving. "Okay, does anyone remember what we're doing here?" Wonder Babe inquired. Batgirl remarked, "I remember, Batman, sending us on a mission." "Yes, I do recall that." He added, "Radio silence." Robin went on. After remembering the same thing, Wonder Babe nodded. "All right, then, McGann, go into our heads and find out why we're here. We must know what became of us." Okay, but just the previous few hours. Let's say 10. That ought to be sufficiently secure. For the mission's sake, she assured. Not wanting anyone to linger in her thoughts for too long, Artemis stated, "If it's only the last 10 hours, then it should be okay." When they arrived and conducted their first reconnaissance of the area, Simon discovered McGann and erased their memory of the previous few hours. He then trapped them in Naruko's mind to keep them asleep for a while so he could complete his mission and then send them to his masters. McGann did her thing and discovered what happened and why they were there. Batman sent them to investigate an energy reading that suddenly appeared and then vanished in a hostile nation that refused to allow the JLA to enter its borders because it is ruled by Queen Bee. That clarifies a lot. We proceed with the current mission. Can you go on, Aqualad? Wonder Babe questioned the mariner. "I'm feeling the effects of the desert heat." To his own embarrassment, he told her, "I won't be as effective without water." "All right, McGann, Flash, Robin." After bringing Aqualad to the bio ship and giving him some water, "Get ready to dust off on my mark. You 3 are with me, Raven, Artemis, and Batgirl. We will discover what was so crucial that they would overlook us in favor of it. McGann connects us." "All right. Link created. All right, let's leave." The 4 Person group swiftly moved to the other camp they had seen on the map in the small outpost they were in, which allowed them to reach the main tent at the center of the camp undetected because many of the guards were occupied by the other group's lack of sneaking. Wonder Babe peeked inside and saw a small group of scientists and well-known villains. The team nodded and moved to their objectives. Robin's team to take care of Aqualad and get their means of escape so they can leave there, and Wonder Babe's team to finish their initial mission. She informed the group, "It's Simon." Raven, who wasn't as familiar with the hero and villain database as some of the others, inquired, "The telepath-based villain, correct?" "Yes," Batgirl told her. It would explain how he had a large memory lapse and how we were trapped in Wonder Babe's mind for a while. Wonder Babe nodded, and Artemis asked, "What's the plan?" She also noticed what they were working on, which appeared to be either an escape pad or a coffin, or a combination of the two. "Take that pod, and if you can, get Simon arrested. Simon is protected by Queen Bee, so I'm afraid we can't do that last one, Wonder Babe. If he gets put in jail, it will look bad for us once because Queen Bee will accuse the Justice League of kidnapping," Batgirl informed them. "That's too bad. Then simply grab the pod and we'll leave. Is your group at the bio ship, McGann?" "Yes, Aqualad is properly hydrated, and we are fully recovered and prepared to assist when required." Wonder Babe smiled at McGann's optimism. "All right, Batgirl, the scientists, Artemis, get out your computers. I'll take care of Simon and Raven and get that pod onto the bio ship as soon as it arrives. McGann remains in charge and is prepared to depart at any time. Aqualad, Kid, Robin, and support. When you arrive, demolish the range." "Just my style," the child grinned. "On 3, 1, 2, 3. Artemis rolled into the tent and began shooting shock arrows at their computers, fraying them and any data they may have had. As soon as she said 3, Batgirl quickly dispatched the group of inexperienced scientists. Before Simon could think, Wonder jumped out of the tent, tacked him out, gave him an uppercut out of the area, and pursued him. Raven took the pod and put it out of the way, doing her part. "We're here." In addition to using Aqualad's water to pound the area and Robin's disc to destroy what was left, Kid Flash unleashed wind tornadoes on the area. "Get on the ship with the pod," McGann stated via their link. "I'm working on it," Raven informed her. The pod was securely placed on the ship after the area was demolished. "Wonder Babe, where are you?" asked Robin. "Where are you, Wonder Babe?" "We're prepared to depart," McGann said. As she flew into the bio ship's open ramp, she informed them, "On my way." With a somewhat eerie tone, she said, "Everyone strap in, McGann, take us to the cave. We're done here." If you were Raven and as sensitive to emotions as she was, it was cold and full of hate and anger. Raven also saw a sizable piece of glass that was striped and attached to her hip. Everyone had striped in, and the bio ship had left, making its way to the cave. Right. We can leave once everyone's striped in." Wonder Babe had Batgirl and Robin work on opening the pod once they arrived at the cave. She inquired, "How much longer? Its encryption is thought to crack. It might take another hour or so," she was told. Naruko yelled, "Not good enough. We need that thing opened now," at her. Robin informed her, "We're doing our best. Kid is even helping us." Kid smiled and put a hand on her shoulder, saying, "Yeah, we'll have this thing open in no time." From her shoulder, Naruko withdrew the hand. For some reason, this pod really annoyed Naruko. "Work faster. Something about this pod was important enough for them to put a second on their to-do list, and I want to know why. I'm sure Batman and the rest of the JLA would also want to know." Inside it, she sensed life. McGann put a hand on Naruko's shoulder and reassured her, saying, "Naruko, they're doing everything they can. I'm sure they'll get it open soon." "You're right, McGann. Sorry, Batgirl, Robin, and Kid, I know you're doing your best. But, we do need this open as soon as possible," she informed them and expressed her regrets. After waiting for about an hour, the good news finally arrived. Everyone heard a click as the locks opened as Robin said, "Got it." Naruko stepped forward to open the pod, and everyone retreated from it. When she did, Naruko grabbed her and a lot of cold air escaped. "Robin, call the Justice League. Get at least Batman and Superman here. It's like 3 a.m. right now." Robin followed instructions and said, "I don't care what time it is. This one's waited long enough." A large red S was visible, and the other members of the group gathered around her to see what she had seen. A little later, the light champers. Simon's day was not going well. Yes, it began perfectly, but it ended up in a hospital bed. "Agent Simon, debrief us on your mission," L.4 responded. Simon followed instructions and halted when the Young Justice portion took the pod. "Finish your debriefing." How did you end up with your spine broken and the large amounts of brain trauma you've suffered? Had you been anyone else you would have died. L.3 advised him. Well, flashback immediately following Wonder Babe's uppercut to Simon. Even though Simon's second landing was softer, the reader's reasonable but weak mind was still slightly hurt when he went through a small rock formation. Wonder Babe was correct. Threateningly, she said, "You'll pay." He tried his hypo-suggestion again. "It looks like I wasn't able to hold you as long as I wanted. I'll just have to fix that. Go, to, sleep." Wonder Babe threw her shield at Simon, though, so it didn't work this time. Striking him in the head, shattering the glass covering his brain. He hurled some rocks at her, but she simply lifted her shield to defend herself as she charged him, slammed her shield against him, and knocked him to the ground. She didn't stop there, though, and leapt on top of him and started to scream at his skull, or what he had for a skull. It took him a moment to try to pull her away from him and launch an attack. He shouted, "I'll get you," and hurled two big rock pillars at her. Wonder Babe cut them in half and away from her with the blade of her gun. Then she pointed to him. Then she fired. Simon covered himself because he thought he might die today, but he was sent back to the ground when the blast struck at his feet. Wonder Babe didn't let up this time. She leapt to great heights and drove her gunblade through his left arm. Simon cried out, "Arg!" as he felt his blood seeping into the surrounding sand. However, his pain didn't stop there. Wonder Babe broke Simon's wrist by slamming the end of her shield onto his wrist. She began, "This pain you're feeling is but a fraction of what I had to go through. What you forced me to do. What I had to do." Simon cleared his throat. "What are you going to do? Coughing, kill me? You'll never be able to return to your hero life again. Your hero mentors frown on such action, Wonder Babe. You have to let me go. Otherwise your mentors will look back for the rest of their lives. Cough, and we both know you don't want that." Simon grinned. In spite of this, he has a broken wrist on one arm and a hole in the other. He had a sense of mastery, if only slightly. She said softly, "You're right, I can't kill you," which caused Simon to grin. His smirk vanished when Wonder Babe began repeatedly crying on his glass dome piece, causing the crack to widen until she used her shield to smash it into the glass, shattering it into pieces. One fragment flew out of their reach. He was lifted and held above her head. "But that doesn't mean," she said. "I can't." She brought him to her knee, and there was a sharp cracking noise that could be heard for miles. "Break you." Arg. Arg. Simon had never experienced such agony in his entire life. His spine was severed, and his back was broken. Wonder Babe gave him another glance. She called out to the Havens. Ah, her pain and rage drove her to scream. The only thing she could do was to leave him. Removing a fragment of glass from Simon's helmet. Flashback at the end. "It would seem that the weapon is becoming more violent," said L.1. "Perfect." L0 entered the discussion. Simon nodded and was carried out by a doctor who remained close by. "That means everything is progressing as it should. You have done your job, Agent. You may leave. Everything is proceeding as I had foreseen." L.3, "It is time to initiate Plan, Sister Act, right away," L0 replied. "Of course. However, is it not too soon? No, she needs one last push, then she will be ours. Initiate Plan, Sister Act, tomorrow. Give her no time to think or recuperate from this." L.3 logged off, saying, "Of course. I'll get everything ready. As for the rest of you, continue what you were doing. Oh, and L.2 once Sister Act is done, you may begin your plan." The remainder of the light went out. "Thank you, my lady," at once. Alongside the Ancient one of the Ancient One's sisters, questioned her, "Don't you think Sister Act is too soon? We were not supposed to do that for another month at least. Now is the perfect time. She has become more violent to these so-called villains. Sooner or later she will kill and the so-called heroes will cast her out. It is then that she will come to us. And she will come back to me and stay at my side. Just like she was supposed to." The Ancient One stated to her sister. "Maybe. Will project, sister, work?" The Ancient One stroked her sister's cheek and said, "You doubt me? Doubt us? Now of all times? Trust me, my sister, our union is one of the strongest. And Project, Sister, will prove that," she grinned. In a different galaxy, a red planet, scorched by anger's flames. Above it stood Atrocitus, the commander of the Rage Lanterns, also known as the Red Lantern Corps. The planet that had once supported the Star Sapphires and their love had been destroyed by Atrocitus, and it was now just a lava rock burning in space. But he had done this for a different reason. He had done it in order to create the most ideal ring of rage. Now that the greatest rage ring was finished, He held it in his hand and attempted to put it on, but it refused. He sensed something was going to happen. Ah! Then he heard it, a scream of anger equal to his own. He glanced at the ring and said, "Perfect, a rage that rivals my own. I must have it. Find the source of that rage." He released the ring, which initially just hovered over his hand before launching into space to find its selected bearer. Atrocitus grinned. It was traveling toward a planet that was all too familiar. Earth, he simply chuckled, causing the neighboring star systems to tremble. The universe will be engulfed in red rage when the ring reaches its chosen bearer, which could take days or even weeks. It is the universe's strongest ring of rage, forged from the ashes of the once love-filled planet.
So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more awesome stories like this. Thank you. See you all in my next video.